that luxurious, beautiful beard, dog. I'm jealous, man. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, man, it's getting pretty serious. I can like grab onto this shit.
Yeah, this is like Beard Watch every episode. I like it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's salt and pepper. You know,
There's a
the
lot.
color's great.
Thank you, man. There's a lot of white in here, and what's weird too, like you can't see it, but there's actually a ton of red.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't know why.
A ton of red.
Yeah, it's like a ton of red in my beard.
I'll take your word on that one.
Well, you'll see it soon. Couple weeks, man.
Yeah, because you are fully vaxxed.
Yep, and then when's your second shot?
Yeah, congratulations on the
Thank
fully
you.
vaxxed status. I get my second shot on the 3rd of May. So right around the corner, pretty soon. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking forward to the wait.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to wait at all with yours, really.
To get
Right?
it, you mean? Like in line?
Yeah. Like when you went there to get
No.
it. Yeah. I had to wait a long time. So, I mean, I'm obviously I'm going back to the same place. So, knowing based off my first experience, like I'm going to get there even earlier than I did the first time, and get my black ass in line. And I mean, I'll wait. I mean, shit, it's like, yeah, got to get it done. So,
gotta get it done.
yeah. So, are we? Does the show started? Are we recording?
We are recording.
All right, welcome to the Bombcast.
Welcome to the Bombcast. Hey, you know what? I just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you to everybody who's been showing love on Twitter. It's been really awesome. Thank you for everybody who's liked and retweeted our last episode, the DMX episode 26. It's been very cool. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely, okay, so since this is, I guess, the what do they call it, the house cleaning part of the show.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to our boy, my boy, your boy too, although you never met him, Conrad.
For sure. We're boys now.
Yeah, he hit me up he sent me a DM on Twitter about our DMX episode, the last episode, with some comments and feedback and stuff, which was great. Really appreciated that. And then he sent out a tweet, shouting us out. So Conrad, thank you so much for that. And I'll do it in return. My brother Conrad's got his own podcast. He covers wrestling, all of it, hence the name, everything pro wrestling. So give him a listen and give him a follow on Twitter. What's the name? What is his Twitter handle? It's at everything pro wrestling or at EPW. Y'all will find it.
Hey, I'll look right now. I'll look right now. At EPW show.
Yes, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Mitchell, who I mentioned on the last episode, he sent me a text a couple of days ago. Also, like he was saying, "Wow, I can't believe he's like, I made it. You guys shouted me out on the Bombcast." And I was like, come on, man. But he me and him, he was happy to hear stories about our time in Prague together. Which and I even told him, like, I didn't even realize it was damn near more than 10 years ago, that trip. But
crazy, man.
I mean, I told him, like, dude, like, I could do it. We could do an entire, like, that's a podcast in and of itself. All the shit that we went through in Prague and Germany. I mean, it was a hell of a trip.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so Mitchell, thank you for the listen. These are our two biggest fans, I think.
Much appreciated. Well, the other day, not the other day, like a month or two ago, Byron commented on something I said on Twitter, and he said that he missed the show. So that he missed the Bombcast.
Oh.
Yeah, like he wanted it to come back or something. I was like, I do too. And he actually gave me the courage to reach out again. I mean, we talk, but as far as the podcast is concerned.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I was like, Byron. Yeah, Byron. Thanks, man.
Well, thank you, Byron, for doing that. And Byron, he's a real one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. Also a white guy.
There's a few of us floating around, man. There's a few of us.
Who I love. I mean, now it's a race.
That's three.
It's not even a race. It's like, I'm not sure who's my favorite.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, either way, that's three on record. Three white guys on record that you're friends with.
Yeah, who and not just friends with, like that I fucking love.
Yeah, man. So it's like you can't even hide it. Like if
I
somebody
don't
comes to you and
wanna
is like, "Hey, do you like white people?" And you're gonna be like, "No, no, 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 no." And they're like, "What about this podcast? You talk about 2 other white people on this podcast."
And you know what's funny? Is that, man, like look, I'm in the video game ministry. There's not a whole lot of brothers in there.
Yeah.
But it is funny that, a lot of my longest, long lasting friendships have originated from THQ.
Wow.
You, Mitchell, Byron, Lucas,
Yeah.
who we talked about in the last. Well, was that on, or did we talk offline about that? But Lucas,
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm just kidding with the whole white thing. I mean, I like
Of
I like
course,
good
of
people.
course,
You
of
know
course,
that. You
of
know
course.
that.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. THQ was like, I mean, obviously you, Bailey, rest in peace.
Yeah. Yes. Of course.
Yeah, Lucas,
Yeah.
Byron. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more, but like
Dan.
Dan.
You met Dan.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was-
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. He used to work with me on the WWE game.
That's right.
Yeah, Dan. A lot of good people.
Yeah, it was
I just met a lot of good people at THQ.
Agreed.
A lot of good people.
Agreed, man.
Good memories of our time there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, man, I don't know. I'm kind of thirsty, though. Let me see what I can do to quench this thirst.
Oh, the White Clizzle. Yes, my man.
Yeah, after work today, I popped over and picked up a case. And you know what? This is my second one. It's good.
Wait, you got a 6-pack or you got a 12-pack?
12-pack.
Of the different flavors, right?
Yeah. So it's
A variety pack.
yeah, grapefruit, black cherry, raspberry, and lime.
Nice.
I had the grapefruit. It was good. Tastes just like when I make it myself. And
Yeah.
this is the black cherry. I'm going to try it right now. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right. Here we go.
I like it. It's a little more perfumey than I like. But
It is.
But the first one got me like a tiny bit faded. So I'm with it.
Hey, 5%, man. They ain't fucking around with the alcohol
not fucking
content.
around, yeah.
I mean, they're helping you out with the calorie department, but it's like, hey, we gonna hit you.
Yeah, man.
White Claw's gonna give it to you.
Yeah, and there's not much sugar in here either. 2 grams of sugar 2 grams of sugar, 100 calories. That's
Yeah, man. They put them chemicals in there, dog. So
That's-
we gonna live. We gonna live forever.
That's right, man. That's light work. I'm
There you
okay
go.
with that. Well, yeah.
Yeah, the only one, you got the lime in there, which unfortunately the lime is the worst tasting flavor. Anytime I get the variety pack with a lime,
Save that to the end.
I down them first just to get them shits up out of there, and then I can savor the rest of the goodness that's in the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got no White Claw. Damn.
Wow. Like none in the house?
No, I got some Coors Light. You outclawed me.
Damn, you're fucking up, man.
I am.
I can't believe it.
Shit. I'm gonna go grab
All right,
a
all
Coors
right.
Light
All
real
right,
quick.
I'll talk a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the last episode when you have to go help Poochie out.
You guys can compare. Speaking of Poochie, one of the reasons I had
No,
to help
you're gonna win that one. Trust me. I was floundering, brother. I missed you.
my dog had unfortunately I have to share custody of my dog with my ex-wife, and last week or whatever, she came home with literally a hole in the side of her face. And so my ex-wife was like, "Oh no, it's just a scratch." It was literally a hole. I don't know, the size of like if you put your thumb and middle finger
I'm
together.
back.
If you put your
I'm
thumb
cutting you off.
and middle
See
finger
how quick
together,
I was?
it's about that size, like a hole that size. And it was right in the side of her face. So I had to take her to the vet, get her all, cleaned up and medicine, whatever. But anyway, she was wearing a cone. So that was why last week when I had to run down to help her, it took a while because she can't get to the water bowl. I have to take it off, wait till she drinks, put the shit back on. It was a whole thing.
And I was struggling. I was struggling to talk about something. I was like, where the fuck is this motherfucking Graham at? Like, but no, it was fun.
Yeah. What are you been up to today?
Today, what was it? Today's Friday. Honestly, I mean, you can ask me that question any day during the week, and it's the same. The only thing different I did this morning was I woke up and I watched the latest episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Went to the gym after that, came home, started working. I haven't been sleeping very well
Yeah.
this whole week actually. Like work has got me really stressed out, and it's not even so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm stressed out by work, but it's not like there's any like I'm anticipating things to happen
Yeah.
to me in a negative way that aren't occurring,
Yeah.
which is great. But I don't know, I'm in this mode where I constantly feel like I'm in trouble.
Right.
So every morning I wake up and I check my email and I'm like, oh, I hope it's okay.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't fuck anything up or whatever.
Right.
And I haven't, but that stress has been kind of fucking with me.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's
Yeah.
anticipation anxiety.
It is anticipation anxiety.
Yeah.
And, I go to sleep, I usually go to sleep around 11 or 12, but then I can't, my sleep's not quality,
Yeah.
and then I wake up at like 5, 4. This morning I woke up at 5. Yesterday I woke up at like 4:30. And once I do, I just get up, and I just start doing shit.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take some melatonin tonight and try to just knock my black ass out, get some rest.
Yeah.
How's your week been going?
Week was good. Just normal shit. I had my son Wednesday, Thursday, so those days are super tiring because like Wednesday, I my first client is at 7, and then right when they're done, I go pick them up, bring them back, start them on school on Zoom, and then at 9, and then my first client's at 9, and then I work through the whole day while he's in school, 9 to 12. And then it's like I got to make him lunch, and we have like a little time to play, and then I got 1 or 2 more clients after that, and then I go back and we play as long as we can, and then I make dinner, and then get him to bed, and then more or less the same thing on Thursday, except I don't have to pick him up, and then I don't have him this weekend, so he got picked up this morning.
Okay.
So then I watched Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier right after that. And then I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 clients today. I cut my hair in between there somewhere.
That's good. That sounds like a lot of clients in a day.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I want more.
But I mean, like how long are your sessions?
It depends. Most of them are an hour, but I've started doing half-hour sessions for people too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm actually starting a new guy tomorrow on half-hour sessions. But yeah, I mean, like, I'd like to fill out the days a little more when I don't have him. When I do have him, I'll keep it, kind of light, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, he'll be back in school soon, so I'll have a lot more time during the day.
Do they have a date of when in-person classrooms are going to be open?
They're open now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, but I'm keeping him out. Just give it a few more months for more people to get vaccinated. Like all of the staff and teachers are vaccinated.
Yeah.
But I told his mom, like, you need to get vaccinated. Your boyfriend, like his mom, like everybody in your house, they have to get vaccinated before he'll go back to school.
Your ex hasn't gotten?
She's going to.
She's going to,
but she hasn't been yet, as far as I know. But she said, like, by the end of this month, they'll all be vaccinated. So I'm like, yeah, then we can start them in the summer program. They do a really good, like, summer program, and that's in person.
All right.
Yeah, and then that'll go into fall.
Oh, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So it sounds like you had a good week.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad.
Saul Grayson making that money,
Doing what I can, man.
Doing what you got. That's all we can do.
For sure.
Crazy fucking times, man.
Especially now.
Yeah.
More than ever, man. This country sucks.
Yeah, it does. But, for me, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't get too down about the country sucking the way that it does because it's just not new to me. It's like, this is America, you know.
I mean, I guess like
it's I just have learned to navigate the waters, I guess, you know.
I mean, I guess as far as like, yeah, our government won't help us in any way, but like, you know, there's been more mass shootings this month than there are days in the month. Yeah. And you know, there's a police murdering a person every 7 hours. Like this is a terrible place. It's just awful. It's so shitty, man. It's like, anyway, let's keep it up. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah. I don't even.
Yeah.
I could get into the whole cops killing people that look like me and all that.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about this, you know, Dante and this little boy, what was it, Toledo?
Yeah.
That was killed in Chicago. You know, the only thing that upsets me when people talk about it is how they say, "Oh wow, things are getting so much worse in terms of like race relations."
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, no, they're not getting worse.
Yeah.
They just haven't improved for a fucking shit long period of time.
Yeah.
The only difference, and I'm not the first person to say this, and you probably heard it too.
Yeah, we have
the
cameras.
Only difference is technology.
Yeah, we have cameras. Yeah.
Is that now? Yeah, you know, the cops got the body cameras on when they choose to turn them on,
mm-hmm.
and then our phones.
Yeah.
But none of this is new. Like things haven't gotten worse. Like this is how it's been.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the technology is just putting it out there in a way that, you know, for people who were unaware, they see it. And, you know, whether they care about it or they're like, well, he should have complied. He should have did it, whatever. It's like,
that's the wildest fucking.
Yeah. Like, it's like, you know.
Hey, guys, cops aren't supposed to kill people. I don't know if you know that. They're literally not supposed to kill people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is like the wildest fucking argument. I mean, ugh.
Yeah, I know. And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I digress. Yeah. Hey, one last thing before we get into.
Yeah, man.
Because we're still cleaning the house. I want to go back to, you know, last episode when I was talking about the Prague trip. I meant to bring this up, but because I mentioned how I was at the strip club.
Yeah.
I tried using my debit card and I couldn't get cash out.
Yeah.
It was like fraud. We don't know who this person is, but we know Brian Williams should not be in fucking Prague.
That
so
motherfucker lives in North Hollywood.
Northridge.
Yeah.
So the name of the club, then we're in Prague, mind you. And Mitchell, like talking to him when he texted me, it kind of brought it up. And I'm like, I can't believe I didn't mention the name of the club. The name of this strip club was Pussy. That was it. A pink sign, black letters, and cursive. Pussy. Not Club Pussy, not Pussy Lounge, just Pussy. I took a picture of it. I had to. I was like, this is crazy. You know, not pussy and ass, because that would have been too wordy. Just Pussy.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah. I was like, oh, man.
I like to know all about the establishment I'm walking into before I walk in. And with a name like that, you know what's going to go down in there.
Hey, they let you know up front. It's like, this is what this place is.
I'm going to see some pussy in here.
There's no beating around the bush. Or maybe there is. I don't know. You know? Hey-o. Yeah, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. I honestly, can't believe I forgot to remember that.
That's a less offensive name. There's a strip club in Canoga Park where I grew up. They opened I think when I was in high school.
I guarantee you, I've been to that strip club. I don't even know the name.
The Wet Spot.
The Wet Spot. I've been there.
That is
multiple times.
The worst name. That is just it's such a gross name for a strip club. I've only been there once when I turned 21. My friends and I, it was like myself and 2 or 3 other friends, my sister. We all went there for at 11 a.m. We tried to go and see if
11 a.m.
because we were just like, we're gonna get drunk immediately. I mean, we were drunk all. I mean, I've been drinking since I was in fucking 4th grade. It doesn't matter. But like, we were like, let's go do like a breakfast buffet at a strip club because that's so insane, and let's just get drunk and be drunk all day. And then so we went, and I think they were like. They were open, but they were still like just kind of like meandering about, cleaning up. They were like, "Oh, we're not ready."
Yeah.
I was like, "But you're open." Like, "Yeah, we're just not ready."
But wait, okay. So let me just get my geography. So the West spot, because like I said, there was a phase, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm also not gonna lie about it. There was a phase when I was hitting up strip clubs like crazy. It was after
go through that.
It was I was just hurting because it was the first time me and Akane broke up. And I just kind of went on a tear where I was going to all these strip clubs.
Yeah.
And so the West spot, is that the one in like the shopping center? Just like a pizza place? Like a couple of places down? Like in this strip? Or is the West spot the one on, what street is that?
I think it's on Canoga. Wait,
okay.
No, it might be on Canoga. I don't think there's anything else next to it. I don't think.
But it's not in a strip mall?
No.
Okay, then I've been to that one.
Okay,
I've been to that one too. I've been to all the strip clubs in Canoga Park. I spent a lot of time in Canoga Park. Yeah,
that's the worst name. It's by far the worst name.
I kind of think it's kind of catchy, to be honest.
It's awful. The wet spot.
I like it.
Like a stripper sat down, and because her pussy was wet, it left a wet spot. Come on, that's terrible. That is terrible.
It's more creative than pussy. I mean, like, I appreciate pussy for for how blunt they are.
Sure.
But the wet spots, like, they put some thought into it. A little bit.
I'm not feeling it, man.
Not a lot of thought, but they put some thought into it.
There's also like a bit of a pee reference in there too. I don't like it.
Yeah, I never, considered the pee element.
Yeah,
but I could see that.
I like generic names like like the Body
Kitty
Shop, Kitty Cat, Gotham City, like just
been there too.
Yeah, of course. Deja Vu, the Seventh Veil.
Deja Vu is a really good name. I like that.
It's the best name. It's the best name for a strip club. It has nothing to do with stripping, but when you attach it to a strip club, it's like, oh, this is like some real erotic word. It doesn't mean anything about stripping. But
anything.
It totally works. The best strip club, I've told you about this, but the best strip club I've ever been to, by far, it's in Atlanta. And I know Atlanta is known for strip clubs, but the only strip club that matters in Atlanta is the Claremont Lounge.
I have heard about this. Yeah.
The Claremont Lounge, I think they've done some renovations, which is a shame. And I'm grateful I got to go a couple times prior to that happening. But it's like in the cut, there's no lights like around the building. You just see like literally like a giant brick dilapidated building. And that's not the strip club. You park in there and then you have to walk down these like tiny ass wooden exorcist stairs. You turn a corner and there's just some dude sitting in front of some unmarked door.
It's like a speakeasy.
and you go in and it's like, it was a large spot, but only like a half of it was being used. I guess they're trying to keep the light bills down maybe. And so there's like this whole area where there's like a big stage and it's not being used, and like a floor not being used. But what is being used to the right, there's the bar and there's chairs and standing area around the bar. And then in the back, there's like big chairs where you can go get lap dances and shit. And where the women dance, they're not girls. There are no girls at the Claremont
These are
Lounge.
women. These are women.
Elderly women. Not one of these women was under 50, for sure. And like, so there's the bar. It's like a kind of like a wraparound bar. And then in the space between the bar and then this giant pillar in the middle of the floor was like a table that you could buy at Costco. Like a plastic table with fold out legs.
Yeah.
And that, my friend, is where these elderly ladies would dance. And like when they would lean over to get the money from you, they would like put their hands on the tops of the bottles that you're going to be getting liquor poured out of and then grabbing your money. And like all except one was like at least, I don't know, 2.5 bills.
Wow.
Large older ladies wearing like egregiously fake wigs, American flag bikinis and shit. It was fucking wild. And then the one woman who was like, she was super fit, definitely older as well, super fit, short hair, like her whole set. And like these women wouldn't dance; they would just kind of like saunter around the table.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're just kind of swaying.
They're just like
to the music,
meandering around. But this one woman like would bend over, like lock her legs, bend over at the waist, and just smack her ass. Like her ass cheeks were fucking bright red by the end of her dance. It was just the wildest shit. Like it's a magical place. By far the best strip club I've ever been to. I highly recommend it.
That is some performance art for that ass.
Unreal, man. Unreal.
For that spanking ass.
Yeah.
For that spanking ass. Wow.
If you're ever in Atlanta, guys, go. Just go. Get some friends. Go, get drunk, tip well, have a great time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story about that strip club. I think the best strip club that I went to, and I say the best, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, strip club the best. There's no best strip. Well, I guess maybe there is.
Yeah, some of them are shitty. Where like the girls just kind of like stand 10 feet away from you and like just wiggle around and walk away. And like there's no passion. They're not in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, okay. So speaking of that, so back in my college days, me, Amir, and a couple other homies that we were friends with at the time, whose names I forget. So I guess we're not friends now, but we were cool back then. I think this might have been my second year in college or third. I'm gonna say second because in my third year I would hope that I'd be smarter than this. But I got my financial aid check. We all did, and we were like, oh. Got some money. Like, yeah, let's go to the strip club, son. So we went to a strip club in Northridge. I think it was called the Kitty Cat. It was the Kitty Cat. Because there's a Kitty Cat and then the Kitty Cat 2. TOO.
Oh, okay.
On Van Owen.
Part 2.
But this was the Kitty Cat original. Okay. Proper.
Okay.
And so we went there and we're, thinking we're big ballers. We got our financial aid checks. Like, yeah, we're going to get some drinks. We got these checks. We get lap dances. We were just having the time of our lives for about an hour until Jamie Foxx walks in.
Uh-oh.
The actor, Electro, Jamie Foxx.
Out of all the things you could pull from, Jamie Foxx, famous from Spider-Man as Electro.
Yeah. Spider-Man's own Jamie Foxx walks in with him and his entourage, and all the attention that we had with our with everybody we had our financial aid
get
check.
away, you poor people.
They left us immediately, like and I get it, all the women, boom. Jamie Foxx, which is actually, I think that probably was like the Lord or whatever higher power saying, look, y'all, you had your fun.
Enough's
enough. Got a good hour in.
Enough's enough.
Save that money.
You guys got bills to pay. Yeah.
Use it for what it's intended for. Go buy your books. Go get out of the strip club. So that was a memorable moment. And then there was a strip club that I used to live close to before I had to, move to Northern California when 2K took us over. Club 779 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it was as close to the house, and I went there, and it was just topless. It wasn't full nude.
Oh, okay. So
you
can
buy drinks. Yeah, you can buy drinks and stuff.
That's the weirdest rule or law.
Yeah, I know.
It's so weird.
But I mean, it's America, man.
I know.
It totally makes sense though. Like. But I went there, and this place was like owned by Russians or some far Eastern European bloc country. Like these guys are not fucking around.
Yeah.
But I went there for a good, like, man, I would say I hate to, man, again, this is me in my younger days. But I kind of became a regular.
Mm-hmm.
where and you could get lap dances, with the women there and everything. And I would regularly go and get lap dances with the same chick, this Japanese chick who was fine as hell. And me and her, we would just talk.
Yeah.
During the lap dance, we would just talk. And like, she's like, hey, so when are you going back to Japan? Like, she knew my whole fucking like work schedule. And like, she knew that I went to Japan for work and everything. And she's like, well, if you go, you should check out, this place and that. And I'm like, oh yeah. And once I was like, man, I'm getting way too familiar here. Like, I think that was like when I was like, okay, I gotta contain myself, control myself. This is not good. And that was it. That was the last strip club that I went to. And I'm happy to say that I got that shit out of my system.
Yeah.
For a while, I was kind of a terror.
Right.
So yeah, look, they can be fun.
For sure. I mean,
and then I was going by myself.
I had a friend who did that too. Like, he was going in the middle of the week. He was going on the weekends by himself. Like, he was just,
Yeah. I was a lonely son of a bitch, man. Yeah. I readily admit it.
But look, that's what these places are for. Like, for anybody listening, like, that's why you go there. You're paying for a fantasy. And that's why I would say, like, there are good and bad strip clubs, because the good strip clubs know that, and then they provide that fantasy. You're not fucking, I mean, that's a whole other issue, but like, they provide the fantasy where the girls give you that feeling of like, oh, this person likes me. I'm not lonely for this a little bit of time, and I'm having a good time. And then like, you pay them well for that service, and then you leave. And that's the deal. It's not real. It's like watching a fucking movie. You just happen to kind of be in it for a little bit. Like, you're paying for a fantasy.
That's it. Yeah.
And I'm super happy and grateful that things like that exist. People
me
need
too.
It. People need it.
Me too. And that's why I don't give anybody any shit for attending strip clubs. It's like, because I'm going to strip clubs. It's like, dude, fucking, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
but there definitely
let me tell you about my history.
But there definitely is a line. Like, okay, as a friend, you got to say to your boy, like, hey, you're going too much. And you got to stop.
Yeah. I thankfully came to that conclusion on my own. But I want to say, I mean, it didn't last long. My infatuation and my constant dalliance with the clubs.
It's an expensive
lasted
hobby.
maybe like, it is probably last like 3 months.
Okay, yeah.
And then I was like, okay,
that's getting over a breakup time. That's fine.
And that's what I was. I was. So yeah,
that is an expensive hobby, man. As a guy who has a couple expensive hobbies, they don't come close to fucking strip clubs.
They don't.
So expensive.
I think back on that time period of my life where I'm like, I threw away so much fucking cash.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, I should have been putting that towards my 401k or just anything other than that.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's like drinking beer if you're working on like fitness goals. It's just empty calories. You're just throwing them away.
Yeah, that's it. It's an empty calorie activity.
Yeah,
Totally.
You're getting nothing long term back.
Yeah.
It's very short term stimulus or reward, and then you're left with a lot of destruction. Like, just your bank account's destroyed, and you're probably drinking too much and smoking and eating fucking whatever fried food is nearby. Like,
I never ate any food from a strip club.
Never from the strip club, but like, when you leave a strip club, you're gonna hit up fast food or whatever. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it is a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. So check yourself, guys, or girls.
It was like that strip clubs. I mean, that immediate gratification of seeing a woman naked.
And then they pretend that they're like really into you. You're like, this is
right.
Great.
They do. Yeah, they
this
do.
Is
but then
wonderful.
It's like I'm paying all this. It's like, man, like, but then you don't. You can't close the deal. It's just it's the tease. It's the titillation.
And if you are going
titillation,
to clubs,
see what I did there?
It's very subtle.
Titillation.
It's very subtle. Titillation. This is that big titillation. And if you are closing the deal, I mean, some clubs do that. Now you have a different set of problems to potentially worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole. Probably talk about that offline.
Yeah.
We've
all been there.
Yeah, so I think so we're done with the house cleaning at this point.
Well, there you go, guys.
Talking about the My strip club history, our strip club history.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah, it's like, yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was gonna say I've never been to a strip club in Vegas, but that's not true. I went to one.
Yeah, I went to one. I think they're whack in Vegas.
Yeah, this one. I mean, it was not the best strip club. I mean, I didn't really have that great a time because we went to this one. It was like me and my old boss and some other people that he knew, and it was a strip club that was very nice, but way outside of what I was able to spend.
Yeah, exactly.
So I basically just sat there, like had a beer or two, and just watched the women perform. Yeah. And I will say I saw some fantastic pole work.
Sure.
At this place. It was dope.
Yeah, I had that same experience like in Vegas because I feel one they're so crowded all the time, so they don't care about you, and like people will go in there and foolishly drop thousands of dollars, making it rain or whatever. So it's like, I don't know, the vibe is just different. I don't like it.
Yeah, it is.
I can tell you the worst strip club I've ever been to, and it was in TJ. This was like 2002 maybe. I went with two friends when I worked at Mercedes. My boy Francisco and Abel, and they're like, it was like on a Friday, and I'm single, I live by myself, and on Friday they're like, hey, you want to go to Mexico tonight? I'm like, sure, let's go.
It's like, yeah, all right,
yeah, fine.
So like, who's driving?
I drove, and Francisco drove. Abel rode with me, and Francisco drove by himself. Abel fell asleep the second we got on the freeway, and I was like, you son of a bitch, like I'm gonna have to drive this by myself. So we finally get across the border, and what I didn't know, like we found some fucking really sketchy motel, and we got a room.
Yeah, I was
there.
gonna say put an M on that bitch. But motel.
Francisco is like from the area. He's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
and it was. But I didn't realize he had like smuggled someone across into Mexico. I don't know. Someone like because when we parked, someone got like a lady got out of his trunk and like
shut the fuck up.
And I was like, all right, man, I don't care. Like, let's just go get drunk. That's weird.
Are you serious? When you said that, I was about to say, what? She popped out of her trunk? And
yeah, she just popped out the trunk.
Wow.
I doubt she wasn't in there the whole time. Obviously, she was probably in the car and then opened the back seat and then climbed in when they went across the border for whatever reason. I don't know. And almost immediately was just so fucking drunk. We're just stumbling all over Tijuana and in and out of this strip club, that strip club. And then we kind of just happened in to a strip club that's, it's small. It's like, I don't know, the size of like 2 bedrooms or something.
Yeah.
And, there's like one woman dancing, nobody's really paying attention, and then this one woman gets up, very attractive. So it's like my friends and I were throwing money and we're having a good time, and they're like in the corner, like it was just us in this place, except in the corner were like legit gangsters, and the girl dancing was paying a ton of attention to us, especially to me. I had like really long hair at the time, so she's like playing with my hair and like being really, really touchy and flirty, and these guys were so pissed, like really aggressively angry. And I'm like, I don't think we should stay here. Like, we got to go. And Francisco's like, nah, it's cool. He goes over, talks to him. It kind of smooths over. It still doesn't feel right. But this woman, because now like we're buying drinks, everybody's having a good time. The owner was also the bartender. And like, she danced like, normal strip clubs, they dance like 2 songs, right?
Yeah.
So she danced like 2 or 3 songs. She goes to get off and he's like, no, go back up. Because
the gangster says that?
No, the owner who was bartending.
Oh, the owner.
He's like, no, get back up. Because they're making money.
Yeah.
And this fucking poor woman had to dance for like 10 songs, just keep on going. And I was just like, damn, this is fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad. We went into a couple other places that were just really wild. Like, I mean, basically people like fucking next to you. It so debaucherous and insane. I remember like kind of blacking out and coming to, and I'm eating chicken out of the back of some guy's fucking trunk, like in an alley with Abel. I don't know where Francisco is. And I'm just like, what's happening? And then like I come to again, and I'm like dancing with Francisco's sister, who I don't know where she came from. And we're like, and she's like, let's go back to the hotel or the motel. And I'm like, and I told her like straight up, like, I would love to. I literally will be of no service to you. I am so drunk. There's nothing I can do. Wow. And then it was like that all night. I think at one point it was like 3 a.m. and I'm like not yelling, but I'm like trying to get this working girl, like a young working girl on the side of the sidewalk who's like crying. I'm trying to get her to just leave, like fucking go home, get the fuck out of here. Like something bad happened to her. I'm trying to help her. Like, you gotta go. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. And then like 5 a.m, we got like 2 hours of sleep. Francisco wakes me up and he's like, hey, we got to take my friend or somebody to the airport. And I was like, okay. So we like stumble to the airport, we drop this person off. There's like guards with fucking M16s everywhere. And like I'm eating a torta that we got from some random cart. And I'm like, and then we drove back the next day. That morning.
Yeah.
It was literally like a 24-hour trip. And we drove back, and then Abel lived in Watts. So I drop him off in Watts, and he's like, look, and you know Watts, like it's really complicated. It's like a maze.
It is, yeah.
And he's like, look, man. And so I'm standing outside, we're talking to him. I'm talking to him. It's just Abel and I. And he's like, look, you know how to get out of here? I was like, I remember how we got here. I'm good. He's like, no, seriously, you have to go the way that we came. And I'm like, I got it. Spoiler alert, I didn't got it. and I'm driving back, and I look in my rear view, and I'm being followed by one car, and I'm like, oh fuck, this sucks. And I can't find the freeway, and there's no GP. I mean, there's no phone, there's nothing. This is 2002. There's no smartphones, nothing. There's nothing going on.
Yeah. You just had your printout from MapQuest.
Not even that, because I just listened to Abel.
Yeah.
Abel just told me where to go. And so I realized, like, because I had stood out front, like, on Abel's street just talking to him for a while. So people were, like, looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
Yeah.
So as I'm leaving, one car starts following me. And then I'm, like, kind of trying to figure it out. I'm kind of, like, maybe getting the idea of where I am. And I'm backtracking. And then now there's 2 cars following me. Like, everywhere I turn, they turn. I slow down, they slow down. I speed up, they speed up. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be that guy who dies in Watts tonight. Like, that's going to be me. And I'm pulling up to a light, and then I notice, like, oh, I can get to the freeway. If I go through this intersection, I can get to it. The light turns red, and I'm like, nope. And I just barrel through the intersection like, fuck that. I am not stopping with these 2 cars behind me. There's no way. And and then I got on the freeway and I was gone.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
It was a wild trip.
Yeah. That, man, talking about how, shit, man. I was feeling anxious. I was feeling anxiety just listening to that fucking thing.
Dude, yeah. I told Abel, like, when I saw him on Monday, he was like, you make it home okay? I was like, fucking barely. He starts laughing. He's laughing his ass off. I'm like, well, what are you laughing for, man?
Because he's like, you made it. Yeah. You survived.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
You made it through the rain, homie.
I was like, I should have written it down, man.
Yeah, because he was laughing because he was like, I told you, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, I told you.
I told you what to do.
Yeah.
You know, I would have stayed and waited until you wrote everything down. But no,
nope. I thought I knew it.
You had it.
Yeah, I'm cool. I got it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's like, come on, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so last stripper story.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, so the best strip club that I've ever been to was the one that I went to in Japan.
Is this? I'm sure you're gonna get into it.
In Yokohama, Candy Kiss. Did I tell you about the Candy Kiss?
Just that you got mistaken for a celebrity. Is it that place?
Oh, damn, I forgot about that one.
I think about that shit all the time.
Oh, shit, yeah. Okay. Damn, okay. I take that. No, Candy Kiss. Yeah, that place. That was I forgot, man. Wow. Yeah, that was the first strip club I went to in Japan. Fuck, what was the name of that place? Uh, Splash Room.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that place was dope. That place is really dope. Yeah, no, I didn't get mistaken for a celebrity, or actually maybe she did. She thought I was like some rapper. Or
She
some
thought
shit
you were
like that.
fabulous.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Which is like
Yeah,
so crazy. You look nothing like
Nothing.
fabulous. And like you're black and you have like some facial hair, but like
I'm black.
that's it.
I'm black, and I'm in a strip club in Japan. So I guess I just figured.
But
Well, I'm not in the military, so maybe.
What a weird pull though to be like you're fabulous. Like Fabulous is not that famous. Like unless you know hip hop, you don't know fucking Fabulous. I mean, I know he has a couple big hits. I get it, but he's not like. It's hard to imagine like just like a random woman in Japan being like, I really like Fabulous.
No, but Fabulous. Yeah, you're right. But he did have some songs that really were hidden at the time. And,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And I think I was there around the time that he was probably at his apex.
Okay.
Mainstream.
I mean, his
awareness.
hits are legit huge hits. I'm not.
Oh yeah. I love Fabo. Like I personally love Fabo.
You know what? You know what? I love. What's so weird about Fab is like his singles are so good, like really, really good. But his albums usually aren't very good. But his mixtapes are good.
Yeah. Well, that happens to a lot
all
of
over the
artists.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked Fabulous. He had. I forget the name. I want to say it was maybe his third. Whatever album that he did where he had the song Breathe.
Oh, that's such a good song, man.
That was a great album.
Yeah.
That was really good. Yeah, I love Fabulous. He's like an East Coast Currency.
Yeah.
Because they both have a similar kind of that ultra laid back chill vibe with the intricate wordplay with their lyrics, you know what I mean?
So witty.
Yeah, so witty, yeah, with their lyrics.
Currency, I think, is the most slept on rapper almost ever. As far as like a great rapper, makes great music. He's so slept on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in Currency, he got his start with No Limit Records.
Yeah.
And, that's how I first, because, No Limit, that's my shit.
Yep.
But that's how I first heard Currency, and I think C Murder was the one who found him and discovered him and put him on and brought him into the company. Currency's great, and then he left No Limit, and then he hooked up
Young
with
Money.
Young Money, but he never put out an album with Young Money.
No, well, nobody did. Like that was the thing. Like,
well, no. Actually, before Young Money, wasn't he with Cash Money? I think he went to.
Was he with?
Well,
Cash
which
Money?
I guess is Young Money.
No, but it was still different. Was he with Cash Money? Maybe.
I thought he did for a little
before
bit.
he went independent.
After No Limit, yeah,
he was with Young Money. But
then I feel that he got his most claim to fame. Like he basically just became his mixtapes, and he just kind of went independent.
Dude, his run after he left Young Money, so he leaves Lil Wayne. This is like, I don't know, 2007,
8,
something like
yeah.
that. He did a run. He put out a mixtape every month for a year. And
Mood Music? Was it Mood Music?
The last one was Finn, which is kind of like a compilation of everything he had done. But there was like 10,000 feet or 30,000 feet or there was a bunch of them, and there were Smokey Robinson. Like his run, that year, is some of the best.
Pilot Talk.
Those were actual albums he put out there. He's done
Jet
3 of
Files.
them. Jet Files. There's a great song about threesomes on that Jet Files tape. Like him taking his girl to a strip club to find a girl to fuck. It's a good song. But he did. I mean, he put out a mixtape a month for a year, which is bananas. And that run of his is one of my favorite collections of music in hip hop. Period. Like I think it's outstanding. And like now he's kind of like really leaned into like more just like lowrider music, which is fine. It's really good. It's just not my flavor. I can only I can only take a couple songs, but now it's like most of what he does.
Yeah, I haven't heard a Currency, or I honestly haven't heard anything new of Currency for years now. I just always loved the guy. I loved his voice. I loved his just his whole attitude and demeanor. He's that stoner, just kind of laid back, witty.
And he could rap his ass off, but like
he could rap his ass
really
off.
Low key about it. He did a tape with Alchemist called.
Yeah, I just saw it right here.
What's it called? Cigarettes or Boats? What is it called?
Let me see. The Coop.
The Coop.
Covert Coop.
Yeah, that fucking tape is insanely good. I mean, amongst a sea of great records from him, that one is really, really fantastic. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off about Yokohama and the strip club. Sorry.
No, you ain't gotta apologize for nothing, man. This is all like this podcast is all about just stream of thought.
That's why I love this. I love this podcast, man.
We just talk about whatever the fuck comes to us.
Yeah.
But yes, the Candy Kiss.
Candy Kiss.
This strip club was fucking amazing. It was fucking amazing. I don't want to say too much about it because I feel like I've already exposed enough of my past history with strip clubs. But I will say that I went there twice, you know, on different trips to Japan. And the attention and the atmosphere was amongst the best ever. Fuck it. I'll talk about it. All right. So look, okay, this was a long time ago. So try not to judge. Or if you do, you can judge whatever the fuck. I don't
Fuck
care.
that. Don't judge. Don't judge anybody.
Now you can, whatever. People do what they do.
Yeah, it's true.
So the gimmick of this strip club, the Candy Kiss, so it's got Kiss in the name, is that they don't have dancers on a stage. Have I told you the story before?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Of the Candy Kiss? I can't believe. Wow. Okay. So there's no stage. There's no, women dancing on a pole or anything like that. What it is that, you come in, they sit you down in it's like a love seat type of thing. The waiter comes around. He's like, hey, simasen, drink, whatever. Order a beer, whatever you want. They bring the drink to you. And you're kind of just chilling, like, oh, okay. I mean, the first time I went, I was like, oh, well, this is different. Like, where are the...
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, yeah. And then, like, a minute or two later, after you get your drink, probably less than that, the girls come out. The women come out. And they basically, like, whoever you're with, each person in your party, like, they get a woman that sits on your lap. And basically, it's like a hostess club. Almost.
Right.
And so they sit on your lap and they, introduce themselves. They give you their card. I've got a lot of cards.
Adorable.
I've got a lot of cards for the Candy Kiss. I save those motherfuckers. And then they proceed to, and like they're wearing, like stripper type shit.
Yeah. Lacy things over bikini shit. And
yeah. And so they sit on your lap and then they proceed to undress, like take off their top. So their, breasts are out. And like at that point, you, oh man.
You suck their tits is what you're talking about.
I'm not saying I did. But you would not get kicked out.
Right.
If you did.
Right.
And you can make out with them. And they're there for, I don't know, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And then they leave.
Yeah, that's some fast titty sucking action.
And then you either finish a drink or order another drink. And then a couple minutes later, another round of women come out and do the same thing. The place is fantastic. And I've been there twice, like I said. And every time that I've gone, like 2 days later, or in one case, a day later, I come down with like strep throat.
Yeah.
Or some kind of sickness.
Of course.
And I was like, oh man, the Candy Kiss strikes again.
Yeah, man, that's what happens.
That's what happens. but being there, oh man, it was a blast. It was a blast.
That's how it always is, man.
Yeah.
I you know what's weird? I was just thinking about this right now while you're telling that story. Because when you're describing like you can make out with them, like, oh, somebody's for sure gonna get sick or fucking whatever. But like before STIs and whatever, like when people were just like fucking and who cares? It's so weird. Like the world was a lot shittier. Like there was no good technology and like things were dirtier and whatever. And now that things are kind of cleaner, we can't have both at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Hey, I hate to do this to you. Well, not really. It's funny. I'm gonna go get another drink.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will. Yes. Go ahead. I got this. I have a feeling this will be quicker than the last time.
It will be.
Yeah. So the Candy Kiss was a good time. Like I said, I went twice. It was just one of those things. And it was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. Back in my younger years. Current B definitely wouldn't have entertained that, today. But you know what? Hey, it's a life experience, and experiences are great, for better or worse. Good experiences, bad experiences, they all are there to, basically, to make you that, experiences make you the person that you are. So, it was fun for the time, but definitely not anything that I would do now. I'm older, I'm wiser, and yeah. But but being young, you do stuff like that, So yeah. Judge me if you want. I don't give a damn. At least my debit card didn't get declined at the Candy Kiss. Because again, I guess I learned from my trip to Prague, where it's like it's good. It's always, and yeah. Here's the tip: anytime if you're going out of the country, always a good reminder to let your bank know that, hey, heads up, I'm going to a different country. If you see a weird charge, there's nothing going on. It's just me traveling. Don't shut my shit off, because I tell you, having that shit happen to you when you're overseas, that shit fucking sucks. So that's the more you know. Da-dong-dong-dong.
So I'm trying the lime.
Oh yeah, get rid of them shits.
I'm saying I don't think I really like the black cherry. I like the grapefruit. The black cherry is kind of whatever.
Black cherry is basic.
And it's like there's an aftertaste to that one too.
Yeah. I had a black cherry earlier today. I got a tall can.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not my favorite flavor, but it's not my worst either. It's like right there in the middle.
Okay. Let's try this lime real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm not offended by it, but I get what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but you've had the other flavors where you're like, wow, this lime is just, again, so I said the black cherry was basic. The lime, it's like they gave no fucking
what it tastes like?
To it. It's not tart enough for me.
Yeah, it tastes like if you like take a lime slice, leave it in like a vodka soda like overnight, and then drink it the next day.
Yeah.
It tastes just like that.
It tastes like a flat carbonated lime beverage.
That's absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, like anybody listening, if you want to know what this tastes like, make a vodka soda, put a lime in it, leave it overnight, and drink it the next day, and that's what this tastes like.
Yeah. And it's funny because like usually like in terms of like lemon and lime, in most cases lime
it's an easy win.
Usually beats out lemon
for sure
because lime's got the tartness.
Yeah.
You get the little kick to it.
Vastly superior.
But with the White Claws, the lemon far outshines the lime, which is unfortunate for them. But I still love the White Claws. I just, I steer clear.
These are wild times we're living in. I don't know what to tell you.
Of those two citrus flavors right there.
Yeah. Well, you want to get into it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I was gonna say something, but then I was like, no, fuck it. We don't. It's not important. So yeah, let's go. Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
episodes 3, 4, and 5. So I'm just. I can't.
Did you watch them all today?
No, I saw 3 and 4 last week and 5 today.
Okay. All right.
Cool. So they're gonna be jumbled up. I don't remember what happens where.
Yeah. All right. So here's my quick, because I was worried about that too. Because I'm like, oh man, I gotta try to remember this shit.
Nah.
And I wanted to take notes, but I'm like, I fucking work a lot all day, doing everything else, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna take notes about this. I'm just gonna go off the dome.
Yeah.
But the three big things that I'll say that occurred, and we'll just use these as like the benchmark. So episode 3, they introduce Madripoor. They go to Madripoor.
Oh, that's right.
Which, for those of you who are watching the show but maybe have never read the comics, Madripoor was like famous in the Marvel comic universe, primarily because of Wolverine, because he spent a lot of time over there. And the way they depicted it is pretty faithful to the comics. It's just like this scummy, where is it, like Southeast Asia, this island where all the criminals just run rampant. They run the place. So that was the big takeaway from episode 3. They go to Madripoor. They meet, what's the name? Naples, the guy that was making the super soldier serum.
Oh, right.
He dies. And then episode 4.
Zemo kills him.
Zemo kills him.
Yeah.
Episode 4, which
is 3 where they break Zemo out too?
No. They break him out in episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah, episode 3 is. Wait, unless. Oh shit. Well, maybe you're right.
It has to be 3. It has to be.
It was 3. It was 3. You're right. I'm sorry. And then 4 is my favorite episode of the show thus far. You get the Dora Milaje comes in from a Wakanda, from the Black Panther movie, the bald-headed chicks that are just whoop all kind of ass.
Yeah.
John Walker, you see him just be humiliated throughout the entire show.
They weren't even super soldiers.
So you see him taking the serum. Well, you don't see him taking it. Well, you see he takes the serum, but you don't see him actually ingest it.
Yeah.
Ingest it. And then 5 was basically just like a come down. Well, also episode 4, I mean, it ends with him being John Walker, murdering one of the Flag Smasher members to death with Cap's shield
in public.
Everybody's got their phones out. And then 5 that aired today, that dropped today, was a good episode.
Yeah,
but it was the penultimate episode, so it was like they're just setting
exactly.
The scene.
They're just penultimate episodes. They always have to dip down so that way the finale seems really big.
Or they rise up. So that's I just wanted to put that out there, just so it's like Madripoor, Cap murders the guy, and then episode 5 is like the effects of that and the consequences of that action. What happened?
That was fucking weird, man.
What happened? What'd I do?
No, you didn't do anything. I got like a wave of static electricity that just like passed over my legs right now. Like it literally like came at like, that was fucking weird. I've never felt that before in my life. What the hell was? Whatever.
Well,
man.
how much did you got plugged up around you, man? Like
it's just a computer and some like music. It's nothing weird. That was wild, dude.
It's like the pulse, man.
That was, oh fuck, man. It was weird. Like it went through my legs, but like I feel it in my chest. That was so weird.
You know what it is?
What?
It's because of that fucking lime White Claw, man. It's a conductor. It's a conductor for all that.
For negativity. Okay, so episode 3, Bucky's like, I know what we have to do to stop these super soldiers. The only person who knows is Zemo. We got to bust him out of prison. And they do. Bucky gives Zemo like a key card so he can bust himself. Falcon doesn't know. And then Zemo pops up in the garage with all of them, and Falcon's like, what the fuck? And Bucky's like, chill. And Zemo's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, we're a team.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Now I'll say this. Zemo is, as far as the MCU is concerned, one of the best villains they have.
Agreed.
He's one of the only. Well, one, he's not a superhero. He's not a mutant. He's nothing. He's just a guy. But he's one of the few villains that's not just a carbon copy or the reverse of the hero.
Yeah.
Which is like 90% of the MCU. If you're gonna pick an easy problem, that's it. Like all the Iron
I do
Man.
appreciate that. That's actually a really good point that you bring up. That he's not the inverse of the hero.
He's totally
that does happen
unique.
a lot.
Yeah, Marvel. It's like look at the Iron Man movies. Like the first Iron Man movie,
Yeah.
what does Iron Man fight at the end? A big Iron Man.
A bigger Iron Man.
In the second one, what does he fight? An Iron Man with whips.
And
then the
third one, he fights a whole
yeah, like a whole bunch of Iron Men.
A whole bunch of Iron Men. Yeah.
Same thing. You look at like Logan. Who are the villains in Logan? Fucking Wolverine. Like,
Wolverine clones. Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about
I was
that.
like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, this movie has. I'm tired of that.
3 Wolverines in it. It's got Wolverine, X-23, and then the young Wolverine. Like, this is dumb.
This is dumb. It's like, come on, he's got a much more expansive rose gallery than this.
Yeah,
like
And so all the Marvel movies really suffer from weak fucking villains. And then it's like, aside from like Thanos was great. He's not the inverse of anybody, but he's still like an alien. You can't really relate to him so much.
Oh, come on. Hey, don't denigrate the aliens now, man.
No, I'm not. Yeah. But Zemo is just a guy. He has an actual purpose. Like he wants revenge for something specific that they did. And he's brilliant and he can do it. Fucking great.
And he has an ideology. Ideology?
Yeah, ideology.
Yeah, ideology that he is consistent with.
Yeah.
His whole thing, like when they introduced him in Civil War, his whole thing was that he was just like done because he lost his family
in Sokovia,
which got completely fucking wrecked to all hell in Age of Ultron. So his whole thing was like you said, he's not a superpowered individual. He's smart. He's cunning. He's got money.
Yeah.
But he basically was there to say, look, no more of these superheroes. Like there's, the Avengers, anybody else superpowers, y'all got to go. You're creating and causing more problems than what you're solving.
And he's a bad guy. Like he controlled the Winter Soldier. He made Winter Soldier kill, 1 billion people. Like he's a bad guy.
He is bad, yeah. But he stays true to his conviction, which, as we'll get into, like these 3 episodes show, which I was like, oh, that's actually, he's not lying about his beliefs and what he really believes in. It's like,
I love a villain like this. This is the vibe I got. This is why Silence of the Lambs is so good, and I'll draw the parallel between Hannibal Lecter and Baron Zemo. So with Hannibal Lecter, you get a very cordial, brilliant mind, who
which movie was he in? MCU. Hannibal Lecter.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
Oh, I know. I'm just fucking with you. It's like Hannibal Lecter. It's like, wait, what?
But that's the vibe I get from Zemo because they're almost the same character. Like aside from the eating people thing, I don't know. I don't know what Zemo does in his spare time, but I don't think it's eating people. But like this idea that like with Hannibal Lecter, you go, okay, he's very cordial. He's helping the good guys. And like as a watcher or as a viewer, you go, okay, he's helping them, but he's so smart that he is many steps ahead.
Yeah, and he's helping while at the same time manipulating.
Exactly, and he's going to use the situation to get where he ultimately wants to be. Yeah, which is so compelling to watch. And Zemo is, I mean, it's definitely not as deep as some Silence of the Lambs shit. Like that's, but he has that same idea where he knows this is his only chance to escape, so he's gonna work with Bucky. And then when he gets out, he knows that he can't just run. That's what like a stupid criminal would do. Yeah. He knows he can't do that because he'll get caught by them, and so he's gonna work with them. He's gonna actually even help them, and their goals align. Even they both want to get rid of the super soldiers, but like he's always, and this is also where the show kind of falls apart a little bit for me. But like he has a plan to get ahead and get away. For me, they really dropped the ball with that plot. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm curious to. Well, what do you mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's helping.
Because I mean, there are things in the show, and look, I'll just say off the top. We are 5 episodes in with this show. We got 1 more left. I enjoy the show. Yeah. A lot. I enjoy the show in the way. Well, not in the way. I'm enjoying this show because of how, and I'm saying this as a compliment, but I enjoy for how simple and basic it is. Yeah. Like especially coming after WandaVision, which I liked WandaVision.
Totally.
But this show feels, I mean, it's it doesn't break any new ground. And honestly, WandaVision didn't really either.
Yeah.
It doesn't break any new ground, but it's just a show that is confident in the story that it's telling. And I just love the simplicity about it, where it's like they're not going to, for any big kind of major wows or gotcha moments. I mean, they have them in there.
Yeah.
But they have a story and they're just telling it in a competent way.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate that. And I guess, that's the MCU in a nutshell, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's very consistent, and I do have some small issues with it, but I just wanted to put that out there just as as how I'm feeling about this show. Like I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing I've ever seen, right. But it's something that
it's totally watchable.
Enjoyable. Yeah,
I agree.
And I'm invested in the characters.
So with this, I agree. So with the Zemo thing though, it was like, okay, they break him out of the jail and like they keep hinting that Zemo has a master plan to escape. So they're in, what's the place called that you said? Madrigal.
Madripoor, yeah.
Madripoor. So there's a scene where Zemo is talking to some kids to get information, and then he tells the kids don't tell, and he points behind him.
That was in the other place where he talks to the kids.
Okay.
So that was man, there's so many. They're globe hopping. Was it not Latvia?
Yeah, it was Latvia. Yeah. So they're in Latvia
at the GRC.
That's right.
Center.
So he tells these kids like, "Give me the information." They do because he's very charming. Then he points to Falcon and Winter
Soldier. Well, he also
Soldier.
bribed them with candy.
That's what I mean. It's part of his charm.
Turkish delights.
And the Turkish delights. And then he points to them and he's like, "Don't tell them anything." And they're like, "Got it." But then he tells them everything. Zemo tells them everything. So I was like, well, I don't understand the point of that then. There was no point to what he just did. So then that was like the first big fumble. I was like, okay, that was like so sloppy. I don't understand what's going on. Then, like you said, what are the Wakandans' name? The warrior women?
The Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje. They come because they found out that Zemo is out of prison and Bucky let him out, and obviously he's responsible for King T'Chaka's death, and they want that motherfucker bad. So they go in, there's a big fight between, and the new Captain America's there with his friend, I can't remember his name, Lamar?
Lamar, Battlestar.
Battlestar.
Yeah.
So Lamar and Captain America, John Walker are fighting the Dora Milaje. The Dora Milaje are beating the fuck out of them. It's a great scene. While in all the kerfuffle, Zemo like backs out into the bathroom, and then there just happens to be a tunnel under the hotel. Okay, dumb. So here's the other big problem I have. He escapes through the tunnel, and he's gone. He's ghost, right?
Yeah.
The end of episode 5, Bucky and Falcon part ways, and Bucky's like, I'm gonna go find him, and then he just walks up to him in the middle of nowhere, just walks right up to him, and you're like, okay, one, how in the world would you know where he is? 2,
okay.
If the Wakandans were keeping tabs on him, they would have gotten him first. 3, we've established that Baron Zemo is mad rich. He wouldn't have stayed wherever the fuck he was. He would have gone back to his whatever encampment fortress and been safe. All of that was just incredibly dumb, and it was just bad writing. It was just sloppy writing. Like, well, I don't know how this would actually work, so just write it and then we'll just film it and then it'll work. That really bugged me.
All right. I wasn't bugged by the points you brought up. And I think, okay, so let's hit them one by one. So the first point you mentioned was, him slipping out during that battle. I don't think they were in a hotel. I think that was a property that he owned.
Okay.
Like, I think that was one of his places. So he kind of sneaks out during, like, it's almost like a storm. It's like a drain almost underneath the tub. I don't, and then the fact that how Winter Soldier found him so quick, and maybe this is just me putting this, because you're right. I mean, yeah, the writing is very loose, but the way that I interpreted it was that Zemo was not really trying to hide from what he had coming.
Then why Why manipulate the circumstances?
Okay, that point of about why he told the kids one thing, and then, I mean, look, it could have been. I don't have an answer for that. Yeah. I don't. But the way that I took that whole thing when the Winter Soldier and the Dora Milaje go and they find him, I think it was just kind of obvious. This guy's been locked up for however many years. I'll just say, I mean, so the time jump with the snap was 5 years. So, when did Civil War? I'll say, like, I'm just going to guesstimate and say like 6 years.
Okay.
In terms of like Civil War, the snap and everything, the 5 year jump. So I think it was kind of an obvious thing where it's like, oh, well, he's probably going to go want to, pay his respects to, his family or whatever. So that didn't bother me so much. That kind of, the Winter Soldier knew where maybe he might be. And I do think that, and you were saying how, well, why wouldn't the Dora Milaje find him? I mean, they established in episode 4 that, Bucky has a relationship with Wakanda, with the Dora Milaje. So the way I basically interpreted it, whereas like, look, they didn't show it in the show, but it was like one of those things where it's like they probably coordinated. It's like, look,
see, that's my problem right there.
Let's
in these Marvel shows,
let's do this together. And
yeah. In these Marvel shows,
I have an idea where he's going to be.
They force the viewer to make assumptions to fill in plot holes, and I hate. It's all over the MCU. A lot of movies actually, but like it's all over the MCU. As much as I love a lot of the MCU, most of the MCU, it's all over it where they force you, the viewer, to fill in their lazy writing, and I just hate that. It would take such little effort to write in a tracking, like a through line of how they connected these dots. It would take so little effort, and it would be easy to cut. Like you could cut. In any one of these episodes, not that they're like a ton of filler. Well, this episode 5 has a lot of filler, but like in any one of these episodes, you could take 30 seconds out and replace it with 30 seconds of connective tissue to make these claims valid. But they choose not to do it, and it really bugs me and disappoints me as a fan. It makes me, it's insulting. Like, you think I'm that dumb that I'm, one, just gonna buy whatever you push, and then 2, you're making me write the show. I have to write the show. Like you have all these justifications because you're rational, and like that's what the writer should do. Yes, they should. But at the same time, like I guess, look, I understand. I mean, yes, that was the convenience of it all was, kind of eye rolling. I get it. Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess for me, I go into, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to, I don't know. Maybe it's just my Marvel fandom.
Yeah.
Clouding my critical judgment.
Like those people who think episode 1 was a good movie or whatever.
Well, what? Star Wars?
Yeah. Because
they're fandom. That's a whole other level of clouding where it's like that's just denial.
I know that's very extreme.
Don't even try to compare episode 1 to this moment in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How dare you? How dare you? Come on. I mean, you compare the dumpster fire to somebody putting a cigarette out of the street. I'm not comparing
the works. I'm comparing the idea, like the what the fans do. Like the fans will excuse it and be like, no, it's actually really good, because if you really look at it, then this and that, you're like, stop, man. It's bad. Just say it's bad. And in this,
but to your point on that, for episode 1, like you have to do that
for the whole movie,
entire runtime.
I agree. I agree.
This is a small moment in the show.
This is a very scaled down version of that. I agree. I know. I made a very it was a hyperbolic comparison. A very exaggerated
you got me
comparison.
Triggered, son. You got me triggered.
Man, you're heated. I'm not trying to start a fight. But ultimately, that's my problem. It's like if you have a plot hole because you missed something, I get it. But I don't think that's what's happening here. It's just some lazy writing.
I think it was just done for expediency. It's like, look, we got 6 episodes.
You're gonna cut out plot points for expediency? Like, you can cut out a bunch of this garbage that's in here. Like, there's scenes of them just walking around. You can't take 30 seconds of that to say, like, this is how I found out where he'll be. Even if it's a dumb reason, provide a reason. Give me something.
I know. Look, I'm not. I do not
get paid to write these shows.
I agree. Trust me, I do. I agree with you. I think our only difference is that, for me, as much as I agree with that point, because you're right. For me, it didn't hit me the same way that it obviously hit you, because I felt that was just their way of saying, look, Zemo's, and I'm saying this having one episode left, but I think that was just to get him off the board. So yes. Zemo's purpose is done. Let's get him out of here. And I think, yes, as lazy as it might have been, and yes, I am filling in the gap that the writer should have put on the page, but it really wasn't. I guess for me, like, I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see the footwork of how Bucky and the Dora Milaje, got together and figured out where he was going to go, because they're just very capable people. Sure. Bucky is capable. The Dora Milaje are more capable than fucking anybody.
And I can even excuse that if there was just why does Zemo present that he's controlling or manipulating a situation that he's ultimately just going to roll over at the end for? It's just like his arc didn't make sense to me. Like, I understand what you're saying, like those exact plot points you don't necessarily need, but like, why manipulate any of it? Why not just be like, yeah, I'll do whatever you say? Like, why run if you're ultimately just gonna like wait around for the Winter Soldier to just pop up and be like, oh, I got you. So that was the thing that bothered me. Like, his arc it wasn't true to his character. His character should have had a plan of how to escape, and then he should have tried to escape and then was captured. That would make sense for who he is and who they are.
Well, maybe he didn't have a plan. I mean, maybe he really didn't.
Then he's not a mastermind.
Well, I mean,
you can't have it both ways.
But I mean, I'm not claiming that Baron Zemo's a mastermind. I think he is
that's his superpower.
He's not. I wouldn't say mastermind. What? I just think he's just a great manipulator.
He's a mastermind. He fucking orchestrated that whole shit.
What, you talking about Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. He's been locked up in prison. He's probably just like, I don't know. It's like, that was the old me. Like me at the strip club. That was like me during my strip club phase. It's like, that's the old me.
That was a long time
I used to mastermind ways to go to nudie bars all the time, but that's not me anymore.
Back in the day, I could have gotten out of all this mess, but today, I don't know how to do it.
They got me. Because I kind of feel that, I mean, come on. It's like, he saw the Dora Milaje in action. It was like, man, I know these bald-headed chicks gonna get me one way or the other.
You are being ridiculous. They gonna get me one way or the other. So no, I'm just gonna buy me some time. Why did he run when they were there?
Because he wanted to go, see his family, the stone and the memorial.
At least 2 days passes from when he escapes that hotel to when Bucky finds him at the end of episode 5. So he was just like kicking it at that memorial for 2 days.
Well, he was traveling. That's travel days, dog. He was in Latvia. He had to go to Sokovia or wherever the monument was.
How did he travel?
Know. I think you're being a little hard on.
He uses ID.
Well, he's got
one ticket for Baron Zemo, please.
Yeah. Well, he's got his own plane, but maybe they had to refuel at a spot. It was like, he's gonna take a little time. It's like, okay. He's like, come on, the Dora Milaje's on my ass.
You are excusing. You are excusing violent acts by your abuser. Marvel started punching you in the face, and you're like, no, it was my fault. It was my fault. They were just trying to help me. They were just trying to show me what was going on.
I don't think that's what I'm doing.
All right. Well,
I think I'm obviously much more forgiving about that plot detail than you. But again, I do agree. It's like, they could have. Yeah. It's shored up better.
It felt like a letdown for the character. Like, what I wanted was, I wanted Silence of the Lambs. That's what I wanted. I wanted the plan. Even if he ultimately got caught, I liked that he got caught by the Dora Milaje and was taken back to Wakanda, which perhaps later, maybe that's part of his plan. Like, I wanted to go to Wakanda. That would be dumb, but like, maybe that's it. Fine. But like, ultimately, his arc they just threw it away. It was very Game of Thrones season 8 for me, like where they built. I'm not saying it's that bad, but the idea where like they built up these story points, and then at the end they're just like, fuck it. Like,
well, because I think
let it go.
And man, see, I feel like I'm being an apologist, and I don't mean to be, but I do think that.
Are you apologizing for that too?
No. What about what? Game of Thrones?
About being an apologist.
I guess I am.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm an apologist.
I'm sorry for being an apologist.
Yeah.
But I think that look, and again, I can't, like, I agree, but I think this was their way. Like, 'cause you're talking about Zemo's arc. I think the show, like, Zemo was a plot device.
Yeah.
His arc wasn't important or germane to the overarching story.
That's fair.
That's being told.
That's fair.
So I think for them, they're like, look, we have all these characters to deal with. Sam, Bucky, and Walker are the three characters that this thing is really about. Zemo was there to, like I said, he's a plot device to move things along. It was great to see him.
I don't disagree with
Daniel
that.
Bruhl's great in the role. But it was like, okay, it's time to move him off the board, and now we've got one episode left. We got to focus on the main characters in this story and wrap that shit up.
So why not?
So that's kind of so I think that's why I was so easy about it.
Yeah, I mean, catch him on the run, and then you could have maintained his arc and still had the same ending.
Yeah, but his arc's not done. It was done for the show. For the show.
That's what I mean. Like, but you have to judge it by what it is. Who knows what's going to happen next?
You're right. It was just
it was sloppy for me, and it just bugged me because I like him so much, and I really enjoyed seeing the three of them. I love any movie where there's like the good guys have to team up with the bad guy.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's as old as time. It's a great plot device, and I love it. It's like a buddy cop movie. It's like this is great. I'll watch.
And that's what the show is. It's like a buddy cop, and then you throw in, like, he's like the he being Zemo is like the Joe Pesci to Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yes, fuck yeah. What's funny? You mentioned the buddy cop thing. I just saw a clip today. It was like an old clip of a Avengers interview, like where they had the panel of all of them at like a Comic-Con or something, and Feige was there. And a fan asked a question. He's like, when are we going to, this is like 2016. He's like, when are we going to get a buddy cop movie with Falcon and Winter Soldier? And everybody starts laughing. And then Kevin Feige goes like, he's laughing. And then he goes, that's actually a really good idea. And I was like, oh shit, that's dope. That's dope.
That's why he's good at his job. Because he gives the fans what they want.
Yeah.
So, well, I was just going to say, so as much, as a Zemo, his resolution bothered you. The thing that really bothered me, it was nothing really. I mean, honestly, it didn't bother me that much. But it stood out as like, okay, well, that happened just because this next thing needs to happen. Is when, what was it, episode 4, Carly and the guy who eventually gets fucking shielded to death by John Walker. They're at his grandfather's gravestone. And they're having their conversation. He's saying, oh, I used to love Captain America, this, that, and the other. But they're there to, like, they're having a moment, character shit. But they're there to retrieve the remaining vials of the super soldier serum. And so they retrieve it. Carly, she straps around her waist. And then they proceed to go to the funeral service for Diana.
Yeah, I was unclear about that. She's like the mother to all these refugees.
Yeah, I'm getting the name wrong, but but they go to that funeral service, and watching it in real time, I'm like, okay, so they're having that moment. She grabs the serum, and then she's going to the funeral. She speaks about how much she loved this woman, and then goes and she sees Sam up in the rafters, like waiting to talk to her, and then starts talking about how her flag smasher spiel type shit. All that was good, but it then dawned on me, like during that whole scene, like after they talk, which is really great conversation. Like I love that. I love that part. Yeah, the conversation between Sam and Carly and him trying to talk her down. I thought it was fucking great.
Me too.
It was another moment of the show, and there are plenty. And again, you can say, look, the writing I think overall has been good. Yeah. Yes, they've skipped out on some things, but I think the way they've written Sam they have basically presented throughout the entire show that this guy is a Steve Rogers type.
Yeah.
Like the similarities between them are like so apparent, but they do it in a way through the writing where they don't have characters constantly comparing the two. It's like you can see it just through his actions.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Because like that conversation with Carly that Sam had, him like, dude, like you could take Anthony Mackie out.
That's the beginning.
And put Steve in.
Yeah, that's the beginning of Endgame.
Yeah. And it's like it's the same people. It's like and there are several moments throughout the series where you see Sam interacting with the character, whether it's a bad guy, Bucky, whoever. But his temperament, his calm, his cool, it's like I understand. It's like, yeah, I get why Steve gave you the shield. And it's one of those things where it's like, I see it as someone who's watching this show. And I guess, in the show itself, other people see it too, but Sam doesn't see it.
Right.
And then we get into the whole thing about, the fact that, a black man carrying the shield, like that carried its own other elements of just shit. But I just love those. I just love how the show has shown Sam in a way where it's like, dude, like you are a Steve Rogers type. And I would say Steve Rogers type, meaning like you're just a good dude.
Right.
You're a good dude with a good heart. He did his best to try to talk Carly down. It didn't, work because
what's fucked up, like watching that.
Fake.
Yeah, like watching that scene, like of course this isn't going to work. Of course, John Walker's going to come in and fuck it up. Yeah. And even when it happened, like I was just like you. I was so happy with how the scene was going, and I love listening to them talk. Like their relationship was really cool. And then I was like, I know it's going to go bad. Of course, it has to go bad. Of course. And I know it's going to happen. And then when it happened, I was still like, God damn it. Like I was still upset about it because I really enjoyed them sitting down and talking. I really enjoyed it.
That's good writing.
Yeah.
Is that you're mad because that's what they wanted. And I mean, and the thing is, like, again, going back to what I said earlier about this show just being very solid, very good, is that they're not trying to swerve anybody. They're not trying, like, you knew that John Walker was going to go bust up their conversation just in the scenes during and prior to it, where he was chomping at the bit. Like, this guy is unwound, like he's unhinged. He's going to fuck this whole thing up. So when it happens, and like you said, we expected it, but you're still mad. Like, fuck, man.
At the same time, I have to say that I don't understand why Bucky didn't stop him. He's a super soldier.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, he could literally just, like, pick him up with one hand and be like, stop. But he does. And stuff like that.
He doesn't,
Until John Walker takes the super soldier serum right after that great scene, all the things where he's in the way, they just don't make any sense. Like it's a weird conceit you have to make, where it's like they just established these guys can't fight super soldiers, so that means he can't fight Bucky.
Yeah,
and Bucky could literally just stop him, but he doesn't, and it just bugged me so much.
I mean, John Walker got owned by the Dora Milaje, and not even the one that the main one that Bucky was talking with. Like, he got bitched out by another one.
Exactly.
And then in that fight, she took the shield and didn't give it back to him until the other was like, all right, give it back.
I love that moment too. I love that moment. She was like, this is mine. You don't deserve this shit. I loved that. But yeah, and exactly. And then so it's like, that's the problem. I have a problem with any kind of writing that plays both sides of the fence with the conceit. Like, I get it. Like, if you're doing it with the character and you don't know where they stand, that's fine. But like, you can't have it both ways. You can't you can't set up the rule and then break the rule and then say like, no, the old rule still applies. It doesn't work. It's just bad writing. So in that respect, they should have found a way to, like, Bucky got distracted or he had to do something else or he had to leave. Like, they should have taken him out of the equation so that it would have made sense for John Walker to walk in.
I agree. And you're right about that, because that did stick out to me immediately. I'm like, because I have expected for them to show a scene where maybe they did something to Bucky. Right. But then I'm like, well, what could he do to Bucky? Like, this guy just got bitched out by everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. That was clunky writing right there. But so yeah, to kind of button up my whole thing from when Carly and her dude get the serum to going to the funeral, And then, yes, like we were just talking about, John Walker burst in, interrupts the conversation, the fight ensues, and then Carly's on the run, and then she ends up losing the serum.
Yeah.
Because she's got like a fanny pack of it, and like she goes over this table because Baron Zemo's shooting at her. Because he knows that he's like, got to put her down. She's a terrorist. She's a supremacist, which is another great conversation they had in the film about supremacy. But so he's attacking her. She goes over this table. The serum goes splaying. Now, bear in mind, this is like the only serum left because everybody knows at this point that Nagel, the guy from episode 3, and Madripoor is dead. The guy who created the serum is dead. So then Zemo, and again, talking about his consistency as a character, because he does not want more superpowered people. There's that moment where he's there and he sees the vials. He's like, "Is this what I think it is?" or something to that effect. And I'm watching him like, "You better not pick one up and even start thinking about."
That's what I thought too.
And he immediately starts to stomping the shit out of it, and I'm like, "Yes, yes." It's like, because that is like, yes, he is. The same way that Steve Rogers, his moral compass is like very true. Yeah. Zemo's compass of what he believes is very true. And he was not tempted at all about that shit. He saw it and like, he lit up because he was like, oh, this is it. This is all that's left. Yeah. I can get rid of all of this. And so he starts stomping the shit out of it. And then eventually, John Walker comes in and he finds one last vial remaining.
It like got kicked to the side.
Got kicked to the side, yeah. But that whole thing, I'm like, I was watching that, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, if this was your last supply of the serum,
wouldn't you try a little?
And
bit
you
to
knew you had
it?
A place to go after you got it, and it was definitely well guarded in this memorial, this cemetery.
Why'd you take it out?
Why'd you even take that? Like, wouldn't you just leave that there until you absolutely needed that shit? Yeah. Like what? That's like me picking up a duffel bag of like $1 million.
Exactly.
And then saying, oh, okay, I got my $1 million in a duffel bag. I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm going to put it over here while I work out.
Absolutely.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing, son?
Absolutely. And again,
it's like you can get your gains in and then go get your money.
And they could have established it the same way. Just cut out the scene where they're at the grave, have the same conversation between the dude that gets murked by John Walker and Carly in their hideout, where she just always has the serum with her. Like she never.
That would have made.
She just always has it. Like
she always has it on her person.
Like, it's just that's such a dumb choice with such an easy solution.
Yeah.
That like if it's just always on her, and because they had to leave the place they were hiding in, she of course has it on her. But like, to go like, I'm gonna take it out of my secret hiding spot, and then why do
and
that?
Then put it in a fucking a fanny pack type satchel.
But it's like, but not a real fanny pack. It
wasn't even protected. It was not like a metal thing.
Yeah, like these vials are made of glass. You can stomp on them and break them. You just leave them like around your waist. Like what?
I mean, even if and she didn't. She wasn't expecting things to go down the way they did during the funeral. After the funeral.
What if something bumps into you or you slip and fall? Say, like, come on.
What if you tripped? You trip on yourself and go, oh my God, oh my serum.
That's what I mean.
And then you got glass in your stomach. Exactly. On top of that.
Thankfully, you're a super soldier, though. That's what I mean. Like, that is just like in these. It is an issue with Marvel. I have a lot. Like in the last half, they start to get lazy with their writing. Like they start to. It seems like they're trying to write too fast. Like their initial WandaVision is a great example of this, where the first half of the show is really solid, really clever, really well put together and designed. And then when they get to the end, they're like, fuck, we don't have enough time to, I don't know, maybe this happens and let's cut this out. They just start, they start fumbling a lot.
Yeah.
It's like ultimately it's still good.
Yeah.
But like,
but it misses out on being great. Or totally better than great. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think it happens. It does happen in the MCU a lot. Now, well, for me, it happens and it's noticeable.
Yeah.
I think more so in these shows because I liked WandaVision, but it's like I think I know I like the last episode more than you.
Yeah.
But even still, I found problems with it. Like, it was like, definitely, they couldn't stick the landing. And that's the thing. Like, they can set everything up.
Yeah.
But being able to stick the landing, is just as important as the setup.
And it's arguably the hardest part. Like,
it absolutely is.
It's like I can always tell. Like as a musician, I can tell on a record when the first couple songs were the first couple songs that the band wrote, because they're the most interesting, the most energetic, and then oftentimes like that was all they had. Like it's just that burst of information. And then when it comes down to like, okay, now the hard work comes in when you have to actually really try to craft more. Like outside of an explosion of creativity, you actually now have to sit down and then it really peters off. So you'll see it like first couple songs are like we talk about Roscoe a lot.
Yeah.
And that album he put out, those first couple songs, fucking great. And then it dramatically drops the quality, and because he didn't have anything else. And in a lot of like movies, you can see it all the time too, or TV shows, you can see it all the time too, where it's like the initial idea for it is great. And
well, I mean, Lost, right? I mean, I never watched Lost.
I love Lost through and through.
Oh, you did? Okay, because I've always heard people shitting on the ending of that.
See, with Lost, it's like it's an impossible situation. It's a Kobayashi Maru. It's just like you can't win because the show is.
Well, no, you can.
Yeah,
if you're clever enough, if you're Captain Kirk.
I think the ending was really for Lost. I think the ending was really beautiful and poignant. And,
okay, yeah, so you liked it.
It's really just a matter of like I don't know what people were expecting, and there was no good way to end it. You know what I mean? Like people are going to be. It's like the ending of Seinfeld. Like I remember when I initially saw the ending of Seinfeld, I was like, that sucked. But I watched it again. I don't know. I mean, many times now, but like I've seen it again years later. I'm like, oh, it's actually good. But in the moment, you can't appreciate it because you want it to be. It's never going to match your love and appreciation of the show.
All right, so it's the Seinfeld finale actually is probably the best. I probably should have led with that. So thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah,
because Seinfeld is, I mean,
the greatest sitcom of all time.
It's a favorite of mine. Like I love that fucking show.
Yeah.
And so to your point, like when I saw that finale, like I didn't hate it. I just felt sad by it.
Right.
Because I was sad that these characters that I was watching, like they're going to jail, they're going to prison. I'm like, and I was just worried about them.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jerry's going to definitely be somebody's bitch. Kramer's probably going to be all right. George is definitely going to be somebody's bitch. Like, so that's where my mind was. I'm like, I just felt sad and depressed by their situation.
That's fair.
But as like, cause I like you, I've seen that finale multiple times since, and also have rewatched that in their entire run multiple times since. And now I find myself not feeling that way at all.
Right.
Where it's just, I think it's brilliant.
Exactly.
I think in the totality of these characters and how they behave, like
there was no other way this could go. It's a brilliant
ending.
Yeah. They finally got theirs, and then they end on the very first conversation from the very first episode.
Yes.
Like I think this button's
they buttoned
too high.
it up. Yeah. They buttoned it up. I thought that hindsight is like, I thought it was great. So
yeah. And Lost fell into that same thing too, where it's like there's no right way to end this because the show's incredible. It's very soap opera-y and it gets extremely weird, but I really love that about that. Like I just accepted it and it was great. Yeah. And the ending was sad and also beautiful. And the ending was great. So there's no right way to end it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Again, I haven't seen it.
I think you'd like it. You'd get into it. If you ever like want to get lost, no pun intended, lost in a show.
Oh, motherfucker, that pun was definitely intended.
There was no, it wasn't, and I knew I was going to say it.
I like puns.
That was not a good pun, though.
I thought it was.
All right, well, thanks. I'll take credit for
puns. Get a bad rap. It's like, come on.
They're great. Puns are great.
If you're getting angry about a pun, it's like, man, lighten the fuck up.
Dad jokes get a bad rap, too. Dad jokes are great.
I don't even know what the fucking dad joke is. I know what people say.
I got you.
I'm like, look, I ain't a dad, but I thought that shit was funny. So.
What's orange and rhymes with a parrot?
What's orange and rhymes with a parrot? Orange rhymes with a parrot. Oh man,
a carrot.
Oh man. man. I love that shit.
It's a great joke. It's a great joke.
That's fantastic.
Great joke.
See, those are the jokes that I love. The ones that are like so obvious.
Exactly. Like what's brown? What's like, brown and sticky? A stick.
If that's a dad joke, then fucking man, I gotta put a baby in somebody.
Yeah, man.
Because I love them shits.
The best.
I love
the
that.
Best. Yeah.
I love that. All right. Well, how do you fit an elephant into a Safeway grocery bag?
How?
You take the S out of safe and the F out of way.
What? Wait.
You know, Safeway, the grocery store.
Yeah.
Take the S out of safe and the F out of way.
F out of way?
Yeah.
There's no...
Boom! Boom! Come on, you got to complete the joke. Complete the joke into the podcast.
There's no effing way.
Yes, my friend. Yes. And that is not a dad joke. My mother told me that joke. That's a mom joke.
It's still a dad joke, but yeah. It's a mom joke.
That's a mom joke.
Damn, man. That was a little bit of a walk, but that was worth it.
People tell me jokes. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, people tell you jokes all the time.
Yeah.
The only joke that I've ever remembered that I can recall and say to people is that one.
That one. It's a good joke.
The elephant in the Safeway bag.
It's a good joke.
Because my mom and I had the same sense of humor. I remember she told me that years ago. I was visiting her in Denver. I was like, it was like 1998, 99. It's probably bumping DMX, you know, and she was like, hey, I got a joke for you. And I'm like, all right, what? It's like, how do you put an elephant in a Safeway bag? And I sat there, we were driving, and I'm like, take the S out of safe, the F out of way. And I'm like, well, all right, S out of safe, F out of, I'm like, there's no effing way. And she starts laughing, and then I got it. I'm like, oh,
it's good.
Mama.
It's good. I like it.
Good.
That's a good joke, man. That's
Hey, that is a gift and a treat to everybody listening.
All
jokes,
three
of our listeners.
Yeah, 3 jokes, 1 for each of you. Just pick one and run with it.
There you go.
That was good.
Oh, what a nice little detour. You know, I actually won a T-shirt telling that joke.
That'd be a T-shirt. We can make that.
No. I won a T-shirt.
Oh, you won a T-shirt?
I won a T-shirt telling that joke. When it was 2014.
Wait. Your mom told you that joke in 98, 99.
Yeah.
10 years later, you win a T-shirt with that joke written on it?
Yep. No. I'm not explaining it right. So 2014, I'm living up in Northern California. Amir comes to Larkspur where I was living. Well, not to Larkspur, but he comes to NorCal because he's got a gig. He's going to do some open mics in San Francisco. So he's like, hey, B, my nig, I'm in your area. Let's hang out. So he comes to my apartment. We're drinking some beers and stuff. And he's like, hey, I'm going to go to the city because I've got some, I'm doing this open mic, in San Francisco. And, Larkspur in San Francisco is like, it's like going, I'm in Culver City. It's like Culver City to San Fernando.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Okay.
So get in the car with him. We go to San Francisco and we go into the tiny little, comedy club. And so he goes up, does his set. Other people do their set. And then at the end of it, the host is like, hey, anybody got a joke in the audience that they want to tell? And so some people, raise their hands. They go up, they tell their joke. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. My mom died that year. Which was probably one of the reasons why Amir wanted to come outside of him doing his comedy. He wanted to hang out with me. And I raised my hand after like 3 people went up. I'm like, I got a joke. And so I go up there and this is not a big place at all. Like, it's a little open mic type thing. There's probably, 30 people in the audience, maybe 25. So I go up and I tell the people, hey, Bryan Williams, it's my mom told me this joke years ago. And I tell the joke, and it fucking killed, yo. And I won. And they were giving out T-shirts to the winner. Like it was like whoever has the best joke.
I got you.
And so I got this T-shirt.
That's amazing, man.
Love you, mama.
Love you, mama. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Love that joke.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. I don't know how we dovetailed off
there, man. I don't know how we got there.
Yeah, but I'm glad we did.
Same. All right.
All right. So yeah.
So Carly takes off. She's running. Zemo destroys the thing. Also, right before that, Carly kills LeVar.
Yeah.
She throws him against a wall, breaks his neck. He's dead. Then when John Walker sees, he grabs the super serum and he takes it. You don't see him take it, but it's implied.
But yeah, he puts it in his little pouch.
Yeah, and previously in the
after
episode,
after he knocks out fucking Baron Zemo with that shield.
Yeah.
I don't know how Zemo had a fucking head left.
I don't either. I don't.
I'm like, whoa,
there's some weird shit with the shield too. Like I don't understand how it bounces off of shit or how it gets stuck in shit. Like the physics of it are all over the place.
Vibranium, dog.
It does what your will
that black
wants.
Magical science.
I guess
you ain't got to worry. You ain't got to think too hard about it.
So LeVar is dead. Okay. This part bugged me too. The super soldiers are Carly and her guys.
Yeah.
At this point, John Walker is not a super soldier. They kill LeVar. They were planning on killing John Walker too.
Yeah,
that was like
everybody.
It was a setup to kill them. As soon as LeVar dies, and they're like, "Uh-oh, John Walker looks mad. We better run away." And I was
know.
like, "Why? Why?
I know.
Why the fuck? This is so dumb. Why are they running away? Like, this is what they wanted to have happen, and they could have just killed him right then."
Hey, Carly blew up a building with like
eight
a lot of
people
people in it. Yeah. Was that the same episode or the episode before?
Episode before.
Episode before. So I'm like, I did notice that too. We're like, they see that he's, oh my God, I think I punched him too hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you guys were fighting.
It was a trap.
And you guys are
for
super
them.
soldiers, and you guys had knives,
Yeah.
and you're trying to kill each other. I'm
Yeah.
like, so you kill one, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow,
I was just trying to kill you. I didn't know I was going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And then they bolt. I'm like, y'all could have probably finished the job.
And also, like, prior to that, Falcon and Winter Soldier were not with John Walker and LeVar. Falcon and Winter Soldier realized that John Walker and LeVar were walking into a trap, and they ran to go help them.
Lamar.
Yeah. Is it Lamar? Lamar. Yes, you're
Lamar.
right. Guys, I'm not racist. I know the difference between LeVar Burton and Lamar from the show. I just made a mistake, okay? I'm 3 White Claws in. Give me a break.
Brother.
Don't come at me. Don't cancel me. I'm a good guy. Brian said I'm one of the coolest white guys he knows.
I don't know. I don't know after the Lamar LeVar mix up.
Egregious.
I don't know. Byron, you've moved up.
Oh shit!
Mitchell, you've moved up.
Shit!
You moved up.
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
I once went out on a date with a girl. Before anybody comes at me, he's like, she's a woman. She was a girl. She was like 22 or something.
Still a woman.
It's a girl.
She can vote, can't she?
It's a girl.
She can drink, can't she?
I mean, it's still a girl. Like, you know,
I'm fucking with you, man.
You're a boy until you're like 35 too. So it's like, you know, anyway, she was saying, she was like trying to like, God, I was a lot older than her. So I guess I have like a little bit more weight in the category of like geekdom and nerddom about this shit.
Yeah.
But she was like, oh yeah, I really like all that. She was trying to convince me that she was also like very geeky. And she was like, oh yeah, I really like the Highlander and stuff. Like, there can only be one. And I was like, that's not how it goes. But
so what else you got? Like,
yeah, there can only be one. I was like, no, there can be only one.
Jesus Christ.
A weird sex story about that girl. I'll tell you off air, B.
Wow.
It's too graphic.
She's like, there can. I was just thinking of something.
So anyway, back to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
There could be only one orgasm.
No. Kinda, just hers. She had no problem coming all over my face. And when I came on her face, she had a big problem with it. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Double standards, man. It's like, you
Double
want to be treated
standards.
equal. It's like, come on now.
I know.
Quality goes both ways.
You don't know the struggles of the middle-aged white male. So yeah, it didn't make any sense why they ran away. It was, again, they're just like, I don't know, just make them run away. So they do.
Yeah. I mean, they did it just to
It's just to get him in the next
lead
scene.
to the end. Yeah.
Which again, I mean, that is literally the definition of lazy writing. If you can't figure out how to get someone from point A to point B, just put them in point A and then point B. I don't know. It's whatever. While I was watching, like, I saw it happen, but I was still more or less enjoying the show. It's fine.
But and you want to know why you were still enjoying it? Because as lazy and
I like the characters.
Right. Well, you like the characters, and because yes, they propel the thing forward without really either showing you how something happened or why these characters would do a thing when they were already trying to kill each other anyway. It's like, for me, it's like, yeah, Carly, you killed that guy. That's one less person y'all got to fight. So keep fighting.
I thought you were trying to kill that guy.
We got to go. So you think about it where it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And this isn't to excuse it.
Yeah.
But what Marvel gets away with is that they
move
do
on
it
to the next big
because they know that the thing that's going to happen because of this lazy writing, and I'm putting air quotes, it's not lazy, it's genius writing.
No, it's lazy.
Is that
it's lazy.
Resulted in that scene, in that moment of not Cap. I take that back. I'm so sorry to say that.
How about John Walker, run away because they're losing the fight? That would be less to think about.
It would, but they got to get rid of no, what's his fucking name now?
LeVar.
Lamar. Yeah, shit, I forgot it. I was like, oh shit, damn, what's that brother's name?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can have the same result that they run, but just make it because like they all like the heroes get so mad that they're whooping the super soldiers' asses. So then they run. It would have taken just as the same amount of time. Nothing would have changed, but you would have had it's not a great reason for them to leave, but it's way better than just like, oh, we should just leave. This is dumb.
Well, maybe they had like a plane to catch.
Come on, B, cut it out. Stop excusing this shit.
I'm not. I'm just saying we
don't
know.
Hold them accountable.
They might have had a plane to catch.
So yeah. So then ultimately they all run. Cap, or the new Captain America, John Walker, catches the guy who said
from the cemetery.
In the cemetery, who previously, a little bit of foreshadowing earlier.
He talked about his love of Captain America when he was young.
I really looked up to him.
I'm like, well, it's good. I hope you love this shit right here, son, because like, you about to get murked by Captain America. Not the Captain America you liked, but another one
who's a super soldier at this point.
Yeah. He took he's taking John Walker's taking the serum by this point,
and he with the edge of the shield, the guy's laying on a set of steps, and he bashes his skull in. Shield's covered in blood. Like B said before, there's a group around with camera phones and shit.
And everybody, not a group. It's like, it's like a flash mob of people.
Like the whole city
with their phones out, just filming the whole thing.
Yeah. So I thought
it was a great episode. Look.
Ultimately, I still like the episode for sure.
It was a fun episode, and we didn't even talk. So as cool as that moment, well, not cool because the guy, fake Cap murdered this dude.
But as impactful, it's a big moment. Yeah. Impactful.
It's a big moment. As impactful as that moment was, I like episode 4 had a lot of those moments for me. The Dora Milaje, like when they came in and they beat the shit out of basically everybody, was dope. And the main bald head chick that Bucky was talking to, when they were fighting. And she did the nerve attack, and his arm fell off. I was like, oh shit, son! That was like the mic drop. That was like you're in a freestyle session with somebody, and you just murk a dude so bad, or a girl, or a woman, where you're just like, yeah, it's the meme. Like, oh shit! Like she knew exactly what to do, and then Bucky's like, what the fuck?
I love that. All the Dora Milaje stuff, just. Here's a winning recipe, guys. If you make someone powerful and mysterious, it's fucking rad.
It is.
And if you don't clear, this is like I said. I think I said this about John Wick. Maybe I said it on Porb. But like the beauty of John Wick and why it works so well is because they never fully establish the rules, so they can keep adding and bending and changing them at will. And that also, so then you accept everything. So that's key. And then 2.
That's the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Exactly. And then 2, you are also, there's always an air of mystery around it because it's not clearly defined. And that is inherently compelling. And with the Dora Milaje, the second they show up, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about these people. And oh, what the fuck? they can do that and they can do this, and they're amazing fighters. And so their whole thing was great, and they were tracking Bucky, and like they just pop out of the shadows. Like, great, good job, guys.
It was fucking incredible. It
was great.
And they were introduced in Black Panther. Were they in Civil War? Because that's when the Black Panther was introduced. I don't remember seeing Dora Milaje.
Maybe they were like
in the background or something like that.
Yeah,
we didn't know. But this shit right here,
they didn't have that much to do in Black Panther. Like
no, the one chick did.
Yeah, that's right.
From The Walking Dead. But after seeing how they were on this episode 4, I was like, okay, like Marvel, y'all got to give them a show
for sure.
Y'all got to do a show about the Dora Milaje and like them just going international, like
I
taking
would
care of business.
imagine that there's something in the works because like everybody is like, holy shit, they were rad.
I would hope so.
They were great. They were really great.
I would fucking eat that shit up.
Yeah,
like I love them. I love them in the show.
Give us the show with Zemo in Wakanda. Let me see that story. Like, that'd be fucking fascinating.
It's gonna be him in his jail cell just dancing to the techno music that ain't playing.
Yeah,
do the Zemo.
They were great though, and like you said, that shit she does the fucking voodoo touch on his arm, and she just falls off. It was great.
Like, boom, 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 and it just falls.
It was great, man. It was great.
It's like me, like when I'm with a woman and I'm trying to put my condom on, and I'm feeling with the package, and I'm like, oh no. Like,
that's always the worst moment. Like how you just between opening and putting it on has to be. It's like changing a tire in a pit crew in a NASCAR race. Like it's got to be the fastest thing possible.
Man. See, you understand,
of course,
and I'm sure maybe other people understand. But I remember the first time Amir told me that, where he was like, "Yeah, I couldn't get the condom open, and I just lost it."
Of course.
And he told me this in college, and I was laughing. I'm like, nigga, you really? You could because of that?
I think Seinfeld had a joke that it was like it's the woman's chance to get like a second chance of like, I'm not really into this.
Yeah. But that's a real thing. Sometimes it's like, oh man.
The best way is during oral sex you open it.
Oh, I've learned. Yeah.
It's grown man learned. Shit for any.
It's grown man shit. Yeah.
Young men coming up to save yourself some embarrassment. And usually the girl doesn't care. I mean, she'll talk shit about you to her friends, but like for you to save yourself from that feeling, during the oral sex, open it, get it ready. The second you want to transition, put the thing on and go for it.
It's got to be one's kind of like I've kind of learned. Again, like you said, it's experience.
Just experience. Yeah.
It's just like when I know it's about to go down, it's just like I'm like the Flash.
And here's the other thing too, like older women understand that too, and they will participate in the process to make sure everything runs smoothly. Thank you, thank you to them as well. Because it's just a temporary setback. It's just a small temporary setback. It's like, no, I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. You both want to go to the next room, so it's like let's both work together to make sure this happens. Yeah. Anyway, the Dora Milaje were dope.
Yes, they were. Oh man.
So episode 4 ends with the blood. Episode 4 ends with the blood on Cap's shield, and that's
how it goes off. Like the camera's panning around him, and you see the blood. Splattered on the shield, and it's like. And again, I'm just thinking to myself, Sam, see, the fuck, dude. Like, why'd you give that shield away?
Yeah. Which I like. They really address in episode 5, and you come to terms with all of that stuff, and it was good.
Yeah.
Episode 5 tonally was all over the place. Sometimes good, sometimes not good. But the very beginning, again, just talking about weird writing. John Walker is walking away, and he just walks into a warehouse where Bucky and Falcon are. I'm like,
they followed him.
Did they?
Yeah, because you saw at the end of episode 4, like when after he killed that Flag Smasher, you see Bucky and Sam like there. So episode 5 literally picks up right after that moment where he's just walking, trying to get away,
Okay.
and they just followed him to wherever he went.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. You're
And
right.
and I actually liked how it started. And again, like it goes back to the simplicity of this show, where there's no big surprise or
Yeah.
how like what's going to happen to this guy after you just killed this guy on in front of everybody, and everybody got the videos out to the world. They were just like, well, he murdered a motherfucker, and people posted that shit
And
on
they saw
TikTok
it.
and
Yeah.
Twitter. They
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah.
Bucky and Sam were there, and they followed him, and they instantly engaged and said, "Got to give back the shield."
Right.
And I just love how they just went immediately into that.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
you ain't
true.
got to drag the shit. It's like, all three of you guys are there. He just murdered somebody with Steve's shield.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to give it back. And
Yeah.
I love that encounter and the fact that they just got to it so quick and so tidy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good. I
Yeah.
liked how it opened.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't remember that they followed him over there. So yes,
Yeah.
you're totally right. And so so they ultimately win. It's a bad fight. John Walker fucks both of them up pretty bad. He rips Falcon's wings off, and he fucks up Bucky real bad. Like it's a big fight.
Okay, so that is the thing again. Going to the writing, like
These guys just fought Thanos. They can't.
it's been demonstrated by the Flag Smashers that just because you have the serum, like that doesn't make you a fighter,
Yeah.
a world-class fighter. Like Bucky's been murking fools for fucking like 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
So even if
Yeah, he's like 110 years old. He could fuck this guy up.
even with John Walker having the serum, I'm like, I just expected Bucky to just take care of him real quick, because John Walker got demolished by the Dora Milaje, by everybody that he's fought.
Yeah.
Already.
And not only like Bucky, who's a world-class assassin who should be able to handle this no problem. But Falcon is also there too.
Sam should have just been sitting back like, hey, you take care of that.
Yeah. But
So,
I agreed. While I was watching, I was like, there's no way that this guy could fight off both of them. There's
Both
no
of
way.
them, yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of them would be almost impossible for him, but there's no way he could take both.
It's especially Bucky.
Especially Bucky. Who's also a super soldier. He's got a fucking vibranium arm.
He's got that arm.
Yeah.
Unless he had, he was worried the arm might fall off again. But it's like, dude, like there's no Dora Milaje in the vicinity. It's like
it just didn't make sense.
That fight went on way too long.
It was very long.
The action.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I'm like, all right, that's not realistic.
Yeah,
it's like you just showed me how this guy was getting his ass handed to him the past like 2-3 episodes, like without the serum.
Yeah.
Just because he got it, he's stronger now, but don't mean he can fight.
I love this part where Falcon like shoots like a rope around John Walker's, I don't know if his shield or something, and he flies away and he's trying to take it. And John Walker's on the floor using the ground as resistance to pull back. And then Falcon's up in the air. He's touching nothing, and he's like making like like he's pulling face, but he's not pulling anything. Like, his rocket pack is shooting, but he wouldn't be exerting any force to like make his rocket pack go. But
you know what it was? You know what it was? So John Walker was pulling, and it was pulling the harness into Sam's body.
Oh,
his back, his shoulders.
Because
he's not a super soldier.
Generous, nice.
He's not a super
person.
soldier. No, but it's true.
They painted
it's
it.
It's like if you have a backpack on.
They painted it as tug of war. And that they were both struggling with tug of war.
The war was won by John Walker, but poor Falcon up in the air was being tugged on, and it was like, oh man, this pressure is getting to me.
Yeah.
That's why
anyway,
he was blitzing.
The fight goes on too long. Falcon gets his wings ripped off, which I like. That was cool. And that's the only believable part, like, of that fight. That like, Falcon is just a guy and he's just wearing a suit. Yeah, okay. But ultimately they win. And then it cuts to so that's the last action of the show of the episode. Then this is where it gets tonally very weird. Like it's all over the place. Sometimes it's like a bromance movie. Sometimes it's a montage movie. Sometimes it's like a family trying to save the farm movie. Like it's really kind of like it doesn't know what's going on. It was all over the place. None of it was necessarily bad. I enjoyed watching it. It was just like I just kept thinking to myself, well, like tonally, it seems like maybe there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like there's a bunch of stories here. They're trying to tell them all at the same time, but they don't kind of know how they go.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't feel that the tone really changed at all. It definitely was a come down
Yeah.
episode. I mean, like you said, outside of the opening, like it was all the rest of the episode was all just set up to whatever's going to happen in the final episode. But the montage of Sam working out,
Yeah.
doing push-ups and running. I'm like, are you doing this in a day?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like
Yeah.
trying to show him getting stronger because he got the shield now. I thought that was a little hokey.
Meanwhile, it's like he's already a superhero. And you already showed him without his shirt off. He's fucking jacked.
It's like, dude, you've been fighting this entire series, and the show started with you jumping out of a fucking plane to go rescue John Walker, who they still haven't brought that up. And maybe I was wrong that it was him that he saved in episode 1. But like I said, I saw that episode twice.
Yeah.
That was definitely fucking Wyatt Russell that he saved.
Weird, man. That's weird.
But they haven't, unless they bring it up in episode 6.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just got to watch it a third time. But yeah, that the whole montage of him, like him throwing the shield, I was like, okay, that's cool. He's trying to learn how it works.
Yes.
But yeah, him
I don't need to see
working
him
out.
run
I was like, what?
He's already strong.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this, Creed? I'm like,
exactly.
Like you ain't Michael B. Jordan. Like,
they wanted to give him. They wanted to give him the glory shots, which is fine. But like, just show him throwing the shield without his shirt on. If that's what you want to show, like you want to show this jacked dude and create a little bit of sex appeal. Great, no problem. But yeah, like
it was silly. I thought that was really.
You
silly.
think we don't know that he can do push-ups?
Yeah, I know. It's like he's been taking care of himself from episodes 1 to now.
Remember when you introduced him in Civil War?
Yeah. No, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, and on your left, and he was running, and Cap kept passing him. Remember, like we already know he can run. We already know he works out, and he's been fighting with the Avengers since Winter Soldier. We know he can do it.
He's been doing this a long time.
There's just no need for this fucking 80s workout montage. Like I don't need to see it.
That was for me the worst part about the episode. I thought the episode was fine for what it was. I mean, you're right. I mean, it was the opening of them confronting John Walker and then seeing John Walker basically being, he had to go stand in front of the committee, and they basically stripped him of his Captain America title. They took away his benefits and everything. I was like, fuck. And speaking of Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up as I forget her name, but she's like Madam Hydra in the comics. And basically,
a real life billionaire heiress.
Yeah. And offers him a job, essentially. I mean, that's what she's basically was alluding to with that conversation. So
it's hard not to see her like in that role. Like I just kept thinking like, oh, this is Madam Vice President from Veep.
I was thinking that, and I was just thinking Seinfeld. Yeah. Or her in Curb Your Enthusiasm, where she was playing herself.
Yeah.
But I love her. I love
She's
Julia.
The best, man.
I'm glad. Man, the MCU, man.
I know.
They can get anybody.
I mean, actors know, like, look, if you want to be seen and stay relevant and stay on people's minds so you can keep getting work and still be in the spotlight, fucking jump in one of these MCU shows, man. Just get in.
Get that Marvel check.
Just get that Marvel check, dude.
Daughter,
They get it. Yeah.
Hey, can we take a pause? I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, man.
No, I just got back too.
I was trying to gut it out, but my bladder was like, nah, son, nah, motherfucker. Like,
I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't want to make you like wait on or vamp by yourself, so I'm glad you brought it up because I had to go too.
What did I do? Went right and got out the Coors Light.
Same here. I'm on to raspberry.
Oh, raspberry's good. Did you taste it? I like the raspberry.
It is good. You know what it also? I do like that. You know what it also tastes like is damn it.
Raspberry? Strawberry?
No, there's like a. I don't mean this in a bad way, but there's a medicine that has that same flavor, but it tastes good.
Robitussin?
Is it Robitussin?
That testing opinion?
Or maybe I'm thinking no.
The Robitussin is like usually cherry.
Cherry, yeah. No, I'm thinking of actually. It's not medicine. It's what are those called? Smarties. Those little candies.
Oh yeah, the fake ass sweet tarts.
Yeah, fake sweet tarts. Yeah, it tastes like
that. No, I never. Yeah, I'm not a Smartie fan.
All right. Let's not get into a whole thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, sweet tarts are the superior confectionery treat.
I agree. I mean,
compared to Smarties, I mean, it's not my favorite candy either. Red Vines is where it's at.
Oh, what the fuck? How have we gone? Whatever, 15
Don't tell
years?
me. Don't tell me you're a Swizzler.
I don't like either of them.
Oh, okay, all right.
Licorice
I'll take
sucks.
Red Vines don't.
That's licorice. That shit sucks. That's like, I don't know, butterscotch candy or something like that. Like
I like butterscotch candies too.
I actually like butterscotch candy too. I was just thinking of something to. But
who doesn't?
I don't like licorice though. I don't
like a junior mint.
I love a junior mint. I don't like taffy either.
I'm not a big taffy guy because that shit. I'm always scared that it might pull out one of my teeth or something.
Yeah, like the flavors I think in taffy are good, but I don't enjoy eating the candy.
Yeah, the flavor's okay. It's just consuming it is the problem.
Yeah. Well, we really got into it, man. We really broke it apart. Okay,
all right, but gummy bears are the best though, right?
Now that I will have to agree with. Gummy bears are the best candy of all time for sure.
Weed infused or just gummy bears. Plain are always good.
Agreed. By far the best. Yeah. All right. So where
were we? This is why we're friends.
I know, man. I can't believe we've never just sat down and shared a bag of gummy bears like chums.
The Haribo, right? Like that.
Of course.
That's got to be the gummy bear. Yeah. Anything else is
surprisingly has really good gummy bears. Sprouts makes like their own candies too, and their gummy bears are really good. You
know what? I've had those.
Yeah, they're good.
The ones that you get from like the bin.
Yeah.
Like because Akane, she used to go to Sprouts all the time.
Yeah.
And I started going because I was going with her. And their gummy bears are pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, Sprouts is great. I love Sprouts.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. Expensive.
Yeah, their produce is so good. Well, the produce is actually cheaper than like other stores.
Yeah.
But for produce.
But for anything else, it's expensive. Yeah.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Speaking of the chums sitting down enjoying a bag of gummy bears, I was on Thursday. I didn't want to work out. Like I'd finished working, and then my son was here at Grayson, and he was like, because he's been working out with me a lot. He's been getting really into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like every night when we're brushing our teeth, he's like flexing in the mirror and trying to see his muscles and shit. It's adorable. And he's like, I'm strong, Daddy. I'm like, yeah, man, you are strong. And anyway, on Thursday, he was like, he wanted to work out. So like, all right, let's go. So we go down to the garage, we're working out. And we did, with him, it's like he's a kid, he shouldn't be doing like weights. So he has like 2 pound weights that he can do, which is plenty heavy for him, and it's not going to stunt his growth and everything like that. So I'm using my weights and he's doing his, and we do a little bit of weights. And then we do a little kickboxing, and then we did abs at the end. And while we're doing abs, we're doing like, I don't know, like leg raises or something like that. And he was kind of far away from me, so I scooted over to him so I could be next to him. And he was like, oh, you wanted to be close to me, huh? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that's because we're best buddies. And I was like, yeah, man.
Oh,
we are. It was great.
Oh, man.
It was great.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, man.
Making me start to tear up and shit.
Yeah, man. Stuff like that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was really special, man. Like the week before when he was here, I had him last weekend, and we're at breakfast or lunch, maybe it was dinner, whatever. We're at the table, we're eating, and he was asking. He's like, I think it was Sunday night, whatever it was, and he was like, "Do I get to stay here during the week?" I said, "Oh, your mom's coming on Monday." And he just blurted it out. He didn't mean to do it, but he just blurted it out. He's like, "I wish I could just stay here." And I feel so bad. Like I went through that as a kid. I know how hard it is. I know you do too.
I did, yeah.
And it's like I take no pride or joy in like that he prefer to stay here. It made me sad. But as soon as he said it, I know he like immediately stopped and he realized like I didn't want to say that. You know, which I also don't want him holding these things in.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's like no.
Yeah. So I immediately stopped. I turned to him and I could see like his face was kind of like quivering a little bit. So I grabbed him, I put him on my lap, and I'm holding him. He's crying, and and I'm just like, I let him cry for a while. I didn't say anything, and then after a few minutes, I was like, I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a home where you could just stay forever, and I'm sorry it's not like that. I went through that when I was a kid too. If I'm always here, you want to talk about it. But it's
yeah, that's gotta be rough.
It's brutal, man. Brutal.
It's gotta be rough. I went through that with my dad. Like, I want to stay.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. When you started that story, I thought at first I thought Greg was gonna
happy.
say no. Was gonna be like fuck. It's like
give me space, man.
I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Like fuck. I want to stay here. I thought you were gonna say some shit like that, like or he was gonna be like shit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, like because it's like I told him, I mean, years ago. He's 6 now, but I told him years ago, like, there's no such thing as bad words. I call them grown-up words. Like these are words that grown-ups use. Kids don't need to use them yet, because there are no such thing as bad words, with maybe like 2 exceptions. There's like bad words, but I was like, they're just words. They're just words, and you're not allowed to say them. You can say whatever you want, and I tell him like it's fine, but you just they're not really for kids. So like if he'll hear somebody say shit, he'll be like, they said the grown-up word for poop.
But he knows the meaning. I
tell him.
Yeah.
But then like, because I know it's fun. I remember when you were a kid and an adult would like swear in front of you, and you'd be like, oh, that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like you get like a charge out of it. So I'll do it sometimes for him too. Like he'll be like, oh, they say the adult word for poop, and I'm like, yeah. Oh, he said it to me.
Yeah.
Something spilled the other day, and I was like, ah, shit. And I went to go clean it up. And he's like, you said the adult word for poop, Daddy. I was like, oh, I know. I said shit. And he starts laughing. That shit like that's so funny, man. So
it pops him. It's like, like I can't wait till I'm old. I can start saying that.
Exactly.
Shit.
And I'm like, and I let him say it. Like if he wants to say the word, I'm like, yeah, man, say it. It's fine. Like he'll never like be like, ah, shit. But he goes like, oh, they said, and he knows like they said shit. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, yeah, you go ahead. You can say it. Yeah,
it's just a word, man. Don't be scared of words.
Say it. It sounds good when you say it.
It feels good. It feels good.
It's cathartic. It's cathartic.
Smart people cuss, son. Smart people cuss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Us too.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't even know where we were.
Where were we? Veep came.
Oh, the montage. The montage.
The
whole montage and all that with Sam. I mean, look, I laughed. I chuckled. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Totally.
As fuck.
That's what I mean by tonally. It was weird though. Like that montage was super out of place.
Then I agree with that. That was really my biggest not issue, but the thing that I would if there's any like kind of negative or just corny thing, I'm like, yeah, that whole montage thing was just silly.
Yeah.
But I loved the interaction with him and Bucky, Sam and Bucky.
The for lack of a better term, like the bromance stuff is great. The way they interact with each other, their hesitancy to be vulnerable around each other, but like their obviously deep love for each other. I mean, which
is grown, like in like just in this series alone.
Yeah, and it's
again,
earned.
like I think it's good and it's earned. Yeah, where it's like they obviously, when the show started, like they never hated each other.
Right.
They just weren't close.
Yeah, they were soldiers together on the same team.
Yeah,
and
on the same team. Yeah, who befriended the same guy who's no longer around.
They had a mutual friend.
And this episode, you kind of they have come to a point where, I mean, I'm not to say that they respect each other. I think the respect was always there, but
Yeah.
they reach an understanding of one another. Bucky apologizes about, kind of going so hard at Sam about rejecting the shield.
I love that he made it he didn't just allude to why he didn't understand.
No, he states it.
He said it out loud. I couldn't understand. It'd be impossible for me to understand what it's like to be a black man holding that shield. I love that
after he comes to this, after Bucky learns that Sam went to go talk to Isaiah Bradley, the black super soldier,
the first super
introduced.
Soldier.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like in the comics,
or I guess alongside Cap. Yeah.
He was alongside. He was like after, like, because they were trying to, basically, I mean, replicate this thing.
Right.
And they did the whole Tuskegee experiment on him and the other brothers in his regiment. That's the right word, regiment.
Yeah, I think so.
Regiment, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the comment, so Sam goes, once Sam gets the shield back after that initial skirmish with John Walker at the beginning, he pays a visit to Isaiah, and I thought that was really good scene as well. I like Sam, and the more that I watch the show, the less that I'm seeing my ex-brother-in-law.
I would imagine the personalities are very, very different.
Very, very different. Yeah. So, it's actually been good that I'm watching the show. Like, this is the most of Anthony Mackie that I've consumed, and from week to week to week. So
yeah.
It's actually helped. Like I'm seeing less of my brother-in-law and just more of his own man, like Anthony Mackie. So
outside of Papa Doc, I can't picture him in other movies though.
He was in, outside the Marvel stuff. I know him more from the Marvel stuff, and then
and 8 Mile, yeah.
But he was also in the sci-fi Netflix show that came out a couple of years ago. I think they did 2 seasons. It was the one it took place. It took place in the future. The people
Altered Carbon.
Terrible show. He was in that. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, but he was in that one.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Was he in there?
He was. Yeah. The first season was all right, but yeah, it was like,
no, it was not.
But I was all right.
It was not. It was terrible.
Not saying it was good or anything. It was entertaining enough.
Okay. But wow, I don't remember him in that. Okay.
Yeah, but no, I liked the conversation that he had with Isaiah, and it's like Isaiah was basically just. So I like Sam, I really do, but at the same time, he's so fucking naive.
Yeah.
About things, where it's as a brother, as a black man myself, like the things that Isaiah was saying, I'm like, well, why are you like Sam, why are you shocked by any of this?
Right.
It's like, you should know.
Right.
You should know, and it just like that. So for me, the writing in that didn't really land with me for Sam. Like it's like, you can't be that naive.
Yeah.
It's like you're
grown
in the military.
Yeah.
First of all, you're black in this country.
Yeah.
You're in the military. When Steve first meets him, you're in DC. It's like, you can't be this naive about the world just because you've been palling around with the Avengers and Captain America and everything.
Right.
You're from Louisiana. It's like,
right.
It's like, come on, man, you can't be this naive about how the way the world works. And that's kind of what Isaiah was telling him. And it's like, because Sam felt so like shocked about how he was treated and everything. And it's like, dude, it's like, that shield, and I love when Isaiah is talking about the stars and stripes and that shield. It's like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
That shit don't mean nothing to me. Like, that don't, like.
It's an unfortunate position to be in, because in that moment, Sam has to serve as the audience. Like, that's the role he's playing, is the audience. He has to hear this stuff and then react as the audience would react. He can't act like he already knows this, or else the audience will feel alienated, like they can't then accept this information as new information if they don't already know it. Because obviously that scene is not for black people, it's for everybody else.
Yeah. But I think, yes, you're right.
But like,
and I'm sure that's probably what they.
But again, an easy way around it. I think if I don't know what their writing room was like, but my guess is perhaps there wasn't enough black voices in the room, because I think most black people would echo your sentiments there.
Yeah, I was. It's funny that you mentioned the writers, the writers' room, because I was thinking the same thing, and I hadn't thought about that until that scene with Sam and Isaiah, where I actually wondered. It's like, I wonder if there were any black folks in the room writing this, or just working on the show. And I don't know. I don't know.
The better way around it would still have the same scene, but either replace Sam with Bucky or have Bucky with Sam, and then Bucky plays the role of like shock and the audience, the white audience, and then Sam and Isaiah can convey to Bucky that, like, yeah, man, this is what it's like. That would be the way around it to make it more truthful.
Yeah, but they I mean, they already are. Yes, that's one way they could have done it, but they already established, the relationship with Isaiah and Bucky.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I think sometimes it's like you don't need to dumb things down.
Yeah,
that much when you're talking about things that are
real,
and again that are happening now. Like, again, I'm watching this scene this morning of old black Cap super soldier who was experimented on, who was basically, it wasn't just him, it was him and his whole, like I said, it was like a Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah, a whole
they
bunch
experimented
of guys.
on him and his I don't know, I'm not a military guy, but his platoon, the people that other black guys. They gave him all serums. His ended up being the one that worked. And, they ended up basically just imprisoning this guy after he disobeyed orders to go rescue his platoon that were captured. He broke out of wherever the fuck they were. He brought them back and was, penalized for it.
And then also like Steve experimented on and poked and prodded. And
Steve Rogers did the exact same fucking thing in Captain America, the first movie. Forget the title of it, but that first Captain America movie.
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
The first Avenger.
He did the exact same thing, and he was
rewarded for it.
Yeah. So it just, just the dichotomy between, again, the two worlds that, that, brown, black, and white folks live in within this country.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed that scene a lot. It was just, for me, I'm listening to Isaiah, and I'm like, dude, like the shit he's talking about is like, I don't know why you're so taken aback by hearing this. Right. Like when he talked about, he was like, oh, we got to tell people about you. It's like, motherfucker, no, you crazy?
Yeah.
Like they think I'm dead. Like, trust me, I am much safer that way. And
even
and it's like, and I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, Sam, it's like, you should know this.
Even like, as a soldier, this.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Fuck whatever your skin or ethnicity, like the dumbest part of you, just as a tactile, person like who serves in the military, you would know that too.
And Sam served in the military. So it's like, come on, man, you understand. It's like, no, like, because he basically ended up faking his death.
Yeah.
Because I think you had just mentioned it, so he saves his platoon, his soldiers, gets punished for it. They imprison him, and then the rest of the people he saved, his soldiers, his compatriots, they all died. They don't say how, but they allude to the fact that they died because of that serum. And Isaiah becomes the only one that actually lived, having had the super soldier serum. And they imprison him, and they basically just use him as a fucking test subject. So he's locked up. They're experimenting on him. And he mentions how a nurse took pity on him for his plight and basically, faked his death. And he got out of there. And he's been living, off the grid ever since. And and like I say, watching it today, just seeing, all on the news, you got the the George Floyd case, like all this shit in the
Yeah.
news, Dante White and everything. And like you hear this, and it's like, and that's what I was saying earlier at the start of the show, where it's like people talking about how things got worse. It's like, no, things are just as is.
Yeah.
It's like situation hasn't gotten worse. It's just it stood pat, and the situation with race in this country has stood pat for far too long.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't want to get too deep into all that, but a very good scene, very poignant.
Quick, just to in reference to what I just said about like, well, fuck the skin color, even if you were, that sounded weird as I'm replaying it in my head. What I meant was that even outside of someone having understood, like being a black person and understanding the black experience in America, even if that wasn't the case and you had no concept of that, you would understand the need to protect this man just as a person who's dealt with the law or the military or the soldiers. Like, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Well, I knew what you meant.
Not you, just anybody listening. Like, I know you understand me, but sometimes I blurt shit out. I didn't mean it to sound like I was being insensitive to the actual point of the scene, which is what you just so beautifully talked about. But like, how weird it was for them to make that choice of Sam. Like, I don't get it. Why can't we just like bring you out and show you around? Like, I think anybody would understand.
Yes. And I really, not to get again, I don't like this whole having to second guess everything that you say, just so that because you think it might offend someone. I mean, yes, I know you. I've known you for years. You're family to me. But yeah, this whole I don't like the word woke or
so stupid.
People's sensitivities to everything that's being said. I think a lot of this shit is overblown, to be honest.
Of course.
And I think everything that gets, because everybody's so worried about what they say and like, oh no, I didn't mean this or da-da-da. And like people say a thing and it's like context is everything, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we were just talking with you about, curse words with Grayson. It's like, and the dirty words are like, words are dirty and hurtful and angry used in a certain context.
There's a difference between saying a word and using a word. Very different.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I just feel like in this current climate that we're in, which honestly, I understand, like, and I get the pushback and the sensitivity to a point. And this is I'm going way off the script, but this is, I've been wanting to talk about this a little bit because like for me, I trace all of this hypersensitivity to what people say, and I could be wrong, but maybe this is just when I picked up on it. For me, it all kind of started when Trump got elected, because it was to counteract his hateful rhetoric.
Of course. So
then the opposite side really they steeled themselves up and they got so like I'm not gonna say defensive because like the shit that Trump was saying was fucking awful and like fuck that dude.
No, but it was totally a reaction to.
But it was that's the word. It was a reaction to,
and also like
him.
Trump coming to power was a reaction to like the ignorant white supremacist reaction to people saying like, hey, maybe you could not call things gay, or maybe like how about you be a little kinder to people like that. It's been this weird kind of stepping up, like each side countering the other side. Like I mean, you're old enough. You remember like in the 90s when political correctness came around and like under, around Clinton era. And we were all just like, what the fuck? Like, this is stupid. This is so stupid.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing. Yeah. It was stupid then. It's more heightened and stupid now because again, like, and I don't know. I mean, we are of a different, we're
of a different time. We grew up before the internet. Like yes.
But at the same time, and I would have to think that even smart people who came up with the internet already in place, it's like they can understand and like, either hear something or read something in its context and then know whether something needs to be a triggerable offense or not.
Totally.
Because a lot of times it's not. And
the other thing is like that idea of like people think being triggered is just hearing something you don't like. And that's not it at all. Being triggered is when like something happens or that you hear that elicits a very extreme reaction based on past trauma. That's what triggering is.
That's what triggered is. Yeah, yeah.
It's like if you don't like something or you're offended, who gives a fuck? That doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, you're offended. So what?
I've lived my life that way. Where it's like people say dumb shit all the time. Like in my life, I'm like, well, I didn't like hearing that. And
they have the right to say it.
Yeah, of course they do.
Like they have the right to say it.
But I'm not trying to cancel anybody because of it. Like if I just like, okay, well, I'm gonna hurt that. I'm not gonna entertain that or whatever. And I just keep it moving. It's like, I don't know why. Yeah, it's like, yeah, people say dumb shit all the fucking time.
And also people make mistakes. Like, this whole idea, like people go back, oh, this celebrity that you like, well, when they were 12, they said the N-word. It's like, who fucking cares? Like they were a child. They made a mistake. They didn't understand what they were doing or saying. They didn't understand the impact of that word. Like, why are we going back and finding shit when people were kids?
Yeah, again, everything is in context.
Yeah, for sure.
Context is key, and trust me,
And my correction of that is in no way of like, I don't care what anybody thinks of what I say. I mean, I literally did on my own podcast. I did a whole episode about how ridiculous Easter is and how Christians are dumb, and like. The title of it is Atheist Reads Easter Tweets, and the whole thing is about that. Like, yeah, I have no problem with it. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Like, people are like, hey, can police stop killing black people in the street and in their homes? And then like white actors are like, I'm not going to do, I'm a voice actor, but I'm not going to voice black characters anymore. You're like, that's not what anybody's asking for.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't. It's
of course not. Because then does that mean black voice actors can't voice white characters? Like, is that what you're saying too?
So I know. Dumb. It's like, I don't know. People, I just feel like, the people just lost the plot a little bit. But it's like just, when something is said or done in a hateful way versus when, like you said, people make mistakes or people do or say things taken out of context and then blows up, and it's like, well, did you read or listen to what this person said, or did you just see
the headline,
a clip of something off of whatever? It's like, and that's my thing too, where it's like, look, I don't blow up at something, and I don't blow up at all, but like, because again, like I really don't give a shit. Like, if anything, like Trump, and like I said, I fucking hate that fucking dude.
Of course.
Him, those 4 years with him being president were the fucking dog shits.
Yeah.
But I'm always, it's like, look, if you want to, raise that Confederate flag, you want to, spout out your bigoted beliefs because you think you have a president in office that is okay with that, which he was.
Yeah.
And now they feel free to just say all this shit. I'm like, all right, well, thanks. Thank you for showing me who you really are.
I would much rather see
so that I don't have to. Yeah. It's like I
know who
I appreciate you. Yes, you're putting your racist, bigoted ass out there on Front Street.
Yeah.
Because now you think you have the it's cool now because Trump he likes this. It's like, all right.
And cool. By the way, like now I'm all for like
and now I won't fucks with you.
Yeah, and I'm all for companies being like, oh, we don't want to hire racists, so you're fired. Good. Fuck them. Like, fuck you. It's like, look, you have the right to get on your social media and be racist. You have that right. That is your right. And I will fight for your right to do that.
So will I.
I'll vote for that right. I will donate to that right. But there are consequences to that.
There are consequences. So you are not free of the consequences that may befall you if you go on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and put out some racist as bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. It's like, like when Twitter, when they suspended Trump's his account, I was like, oh yeah. For me, I was like, well, it was just like one less stress.
But that's
just for me, because I'm like, oh man, it's like him being in office was stress. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, like let him say whatever the fuck he wants to say, because
he's not a person though. He's a president. And
I know.
And what he was saying was inciting violence, inciting riots. I mean, it's happening now. That's why Asian people are being attacked in the street. And, it's like, that's a direct result of him. So he's a different case because as a president, you shouldn't be allowed on social media. Like,
and again, like I said, I was fine that they did,
yeah,
but like just thinking like about, it's like, well, because again, I just want, because for me, like I look at it where it's on record.
yeah. Well,
You can always just point back and be like, you're a scumbag, you're a racist, you're a bigot. It's like, if you want to, it's almost like you're just digging your own grave.
But here's the other thing. Twitter is a private company. They get to decide what's on their platform, just like a TV channel. If you go and want to go on NBC and go on the Tonight Show and do a stand-up set, you have to abide by their rules, their standards and practices get a hold of you. Like, these are the things you can say and cannot say. And that's how it is, because this is our channel. Yeah. If you want to say whatever the fuck you want, make your own channel.
Yeah.
And
that's a very good point. You're right. Yeah.
This is, people are like, it's unconstitutional. It's anti-First Amendment. No, it's not. Twitter is not the government. Yeah. It's just a company. It's a private company. They get to decide what's on their platform. You might not like it. It might be censorship, but they have a right to do it because it's their company.
It's theirs. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Start your own company and just make it like, this is some white supremacist shit. Great. Yeah. Have your own thing, and then we can all track you. We'll keep you in one place.
Exactly.
Great. Yeah. The FBI can just read your tweets, and it's no problem.
Just kind of, we'll keep tabs on you that way. Yeah, but you're right. Fine. It's like, these are all private companies. It's like I can't go to. I'm trying to use my job as an example, but yeah, you like if I do some racist ass bullshit, like my company can be like, well, that's not how we get down.
Not, so exactly.
Gotta go.
And that's not and it's not even a new concept. Like, that's like,
no, it's not. That's
as old as companies are. Like, these are the rules of our company. Yes, this is the dress code of our school. This is the whatever of our whatever. Like,
that is just the way life has been since I've been on this planet.
If you come into my house, you have to take off your shoes. That's the rule for coming in my house. If you don't want to take off your shoes, don't come in my house. That's the right I have. Outside. This is my house.
And you have the right to keep your shoes on, but you just can't do it inside of my domicile. But that sidewalk, problem. That's all you, homie.
Wear your shoes.
That's all you.
To your heart just explodes with joy, man. You love your shoes. I get it. I have no problem. I'm not telling you to take off your shoes in your house. And that's ultimately, it's like, anytime somebody's like mad about what happens on social media, I'm like, this is not, social media are not your rights. This is just some company, man. This is just some company.
Yeah, I never get mad about things that post on social media. Like, I see bullshit, and it's like you said, it's like I read something, I don't agree with it, and I just that was stupid, and that's and I just move on.
Right.
I just move on. It's like people say dumb shit all the time.
Yeah.
It's like if I had to catalog every dumb fucking thing that I've heard from people in my life, I'd still be doing that.
But at the same time, it's like, as much as I don't like the quote cancel culture, like, the root of the cancel culture is good, which is, it's not cancel culture. It's literally just holding people accountable for their shitty behavior, which is like, we should be doing that. And if we were a smaller group of people, the hard part is that we're 9 billion people, or in this country, whatever, 300 something million people, 400 million people. But it's like, if we were a small tribe of, let's say, 100 people, if one person's actions were going against the good of the tribe, the rest of the tribe would shun or excommunicate or kill that person. That's how it works. Every tribe since the dawn of humanity. Hundreds of thousands of years of this practice of like, oh, you're causing a problem for everybody, so you got to go. It's not weird. It's not old. I mean, it's not new. It's just how... That's how we are. Fucking crows do that too. Like, it's not weird.
It's baked into biological DNA.
It's a survival imperative that, like, you're gonna make things worse for us. You can't stay. But I agree. Like, I use that voice actor thing a lot. Like, nobody cared about that. Yeah. We just don't want systemic racism anymore. What you're talking about is not racist. If you're a writer and you're writing black characters, you should have black people in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. When you mentioned the voice actor stuff, were you in reference to Hank Azaria?
Hank Azaria his latest
comment? Because I saw something a couple of days ago where he was like, "Oh, I just want to apologize to every, Indian, person," and it's like, okay, look.
Well, see, for him, cool, I actually sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, I saw that and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not Indian.
Yeah.
And honestly, like as a kid watching The Simpsons, like it's one of those things. I mean, like I didn't even think about
Yeah.
who was voicing characters. Because as a kid, I'm like, oh, it's a cartoon. Everybody's got an effect on their voice. It's like, yes, he's definitely putting an Indian voice on his. I guess maybe. I mean, honestly, I never.
I think the bigger problem comes from the writing. Like the voice could be whatever. I mean, obviously Hank Azaria is reading the words, but like I remember Indian kids being heckled with "Do you want a Slurpee?" and "Thank you, come again." Like I remember that shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too. Like, I mean, that they had to deal with that, and that fucking sucks. But that is the writer's fault. Like, I mean, yes, you can say, well, yes, Hank Azaria said the words, sure, but like,
no, you're right. Yeah.
It's a problem with writing. It's like
it's the writing.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna write an ethnicity, if the ethnicity matters to the character you're writing, right? Like, if I write a story and it's all black people, but there's no cultural reference to their experience, then it doesn't matter. I can write whatever I want. Doesn't make a difference. But if their ethnicity plays a part in who they are as a character and how I'm writing it and the situations that they're in, there should be people of that ethnicity in the room.
Yeah,
for sure. Like as a white guy, I shouldn't write a black character talking about the black experience in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if I'm writing a story about whatever, a fucking gas station attendant who likes to jerk off to amputee porn, and he happens to be black, there's no problem because his blackness has nothing to do with the character.
With his love for amputee porn, of course.
Exactly.
I got you.
It's like when people are like, there can't be a black Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, why? His whiteness has nothing to do with his character.
Yeah.
He could be black, he could be Indian, he could be Asian. Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. No, I agree. You said it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Anyway, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Let's wrap this bitch up.
That was a hell of a tangent, but good conversation. It was good.
As always, man.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I know. I feel certain ways, like when it comes to like these social issues and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you know me, but I'm hesitant always to talk about them because I just don't feel that I'm ever able to really communicate my thoughts and ideas in a way that is, I don't know, that is good, I guess.
Really?
Not good, but just I don't know, because I just get very emotional.
Yeah.
I just get very emotional, and angry. Seeing all this stuff happening and, it just, it just hurts.
Yeah.
Like just constantly seeing this shit happening and, this thing that's going down in Minnesota with, Dante White. It's almost like you can't even fucking script this shit.
Yeah.
The same week that they basically just, the case rested for, Chauvin and the murder of George Floyd. And then it's like it's like 10 miles away.
Yeah.
It happens again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when's enough going to be enough?
Yeah.
And you've known me for a long time where I'm generally a very optimistic person. But, when it comes to matters of race in this country, I'm not. Yeah. For me, I get my wins, my personal wins, just in surrounding myself with people that I know are good, such as yourself, such as Mitchell, such as Byron, such as Dan, such as Amir, such as Tony, and I just kind of feel like that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Because I know that, we're not all fucked up, and I just do my best to keep myself and have, good people in my circle. But it's like this, And I hate to feel the way that I do when it comes to, this country writ large. But like in terms of race, like things will never get better in my lifetime. And I can say that with with certainty,
Yeah.
and I just hope that once, I'm gone, that maybe some change will happen. But it's just, I mean, things just move here at an incremental pace because too many people don't care.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like when it comes to race in this country, it's like unless there's only so much that there's only so much that we can do.
Yeah.
Like we need white folks
Yeah.
to step up. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
There's only so much that we can do, black, brown, Asian, whatever. It's like, but it takes more than us basically saying, look, we've been black folks in the police, like that's been an issue since I've been born, and it's been an issue well before I was born.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where like people just say, oh, well, it's not, you're exaggerating, or it's that and the other. And it's like, no, it's not. It's like sometimes just listen, so I don't know. Like oh man, and then I'm worried about this George Floyd case.
Because I'm at a point with this.
Well, the thing is, I mean, look, they murdered the man.
Yeah.
This cop murdered this cop, and the other cops around him.
Yeah.
Murdered a man.
Yeah.
And the things that always appear obvious, like anytime the courts are involved and juries are involved, I mean, I would hope that they get it right this time. But I'm steeled up. I'm guarded for the outcome that is probably, for that not guilty. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but if it does, I won't be surprised.
Yeah. And
shit's gonna pop off again.
And we're at this position where it's either way, right? Like if they find him guilty, which obviously he is, but if they find him guilty in the court, he's just a sacrificial lamb. They're doing it to appease the unrest because, just this week alone, again, we're at the closing arguments on Monday of this Derek Chauvin case. I mean, how many people have died this week from police? I mean, they shot Adam Toledo, a 13-year-old boy with his hands in the air. They shot and murdered a 13-year-old boy, brown-skinned boy. I mean,
did you see the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. And it's like you can't. It's a situation like when it comes to you can't win for losing. I saw that video and he said, "Put your hands up, turn around," and he complied. And then he got shot.
Yeah. And
then he got dead. It's like, I mean, at that point, I don't know, man.
I know
we ventured off way up.
That's fine, man. This is more important to talk about than the Winter Soldier.
It's like I can't speak on every person of color's experience, obviously, but I know that myself. I'd have to wager and imagine that like any person of color who was born and raised in this country or who came here, like you walk around like with just PTSD just based off of that.
Of course.
Of course. It's just like baked into me.
Even I mean, obviously everybody's experienced it, but like, I mean, every person of color has experienced it for the most part. But like, even if you haven't, like you said, it's just baked in.
Yeah.
Like, that this happens in this country. Black and brown people can get stopped and murdered by the people who are supposed to save you with impunity. Nothing happens. They just keep doing it. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people a year. I mean, there's no way.
And these are and again, the thing that I was talking to earlier was like, this, like, we're just seeing the things that are being filmed.
Yeah.
It's like, these are just the cases that someone happened to be there and they had their phone out and they were able to record it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, and people talk about with the police, like, oh, they just need more training, more training. It's like,
it's fucking bullshit.
It ain't the training.
It's not.
It ain't the training.
Well, it is the training. They're being taught to do this.
They're
being taught not to speak up. They're being taught to play along. Like,
but when I say it's not the training on the police, it's like it's more than that. Yeah. I mean, the training. Yeah. It's like, I mean, look at how the cops treated those fucking assholes who stormed the Capitol.
Yeah.
Look at how, I mean,
they gave Kyle Rittenhouse water, and
yeah,
I just saw today that cops donated to his fund to help him.
I didn't know about that. But not surprised.
I just read about today that there's a bunch of cops who donated to help him. They think he's a fucking hero. He murdered 2 people.
I mean, the guy was named Dylan Church, the guy who set fire to what's his name, Dylan. He set fire to a church in this somewhere in the South, and they took him to
they took him to eat.
To eat.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I'm like, wow. And I say this like not as me saying, well, they should fuck him up too. It's saying that, if you're trained to treat someone who commits that level of fucking murder,
yeah,
and you still feel a way where, oh, well, we got him in custody, he still needs to eat, let's take and get some food. You can feel that for him.
Yeah.
But when you see a brown person, a black person, someone that doesn't look like you, automatically the gun comes out. And so that's what I mean, it's not the training, because, and I've seen a lot of videos that people post on Twitter, on YouTube, of how cops will talk down some crazy
white guy screaming at them. White guy. I just saw a video of a white guy threatening to kill a cop. Like, fuck you, I'll kill you if you come near me. And the cop is just standing there calmly.
And they talk him down. And they do their job. They do their training.
Yeah.
Because they look at that face and it's like, oh, he looks like me.
And not only that, like, yes, all the black and brown murders, but like all the mental illness, kids with autism, people with bipolar disorder, like regardless of skin color, these cops just come in and shoot them in the face. I saw a video, a body cam video the other day of cops responding to what they thought was a domestic violence case. They're at the door. They're outside of this person's apartment. They're not inside. The door is closed. They just hear some commotion inside. It turned out not to be a domestic violence case. They heard a door slam. The cop just pulls out his gun and starts shooting through the wall.
Yeah.
And hits the guy. Like,
yeah.
So when we're all screaming like abolish the police, defund the police, and people are like, no, it just needs to be reformed. They've been reforming for 20 years. We've dumped endless amounts of money and votes into reform. That's not the issue. It's a corrupt institution from the start. It started as a way to catch ex-slaves, and it's continued from there. That's the origin of the police department. Is that they were catching slaves who were free. Like, if you think there's anything to reform, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, and that's why I say, there's no, reform. You can reform things to your heart's content, but you cannot change the mindset and the perception of the people behind the badge, the people holding the badge. If they look at my face and the first thing that they think of is criminal or threat, no amount of training is going to help me in that situation. Because they're people, and people are fallible, and people have a lot of people just have these innate biases and racist beliefs about certain people. Not everybody does, but people do.
And I was just going to say, like, you use the word bias, like any position of power. I think of like being in therapy. We've both been in therapy. Your therapist's main role is to be unobjective, completely unbiased, give you just objective reality, let you know that you're okay. And that is the police job too. but they don't do that.
Yeah.
They're not trained to do that. And they only have to go to school for 6 months. Other countries, it's like 3 years, 5 years. And I had a friend who, I mean, I've worked a lot with cops. I won't do it anymore, but like in the past, just through martial arts and stuff. But I've had friends who joined the force who quit, or not joined the force, but they went to the academy and they quit because they're like, they're just teaching us to kill people. Like that was literally what they said to me. Like, this is like just a killing factory. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And they bounce. They're like, no, I'm not having it.
Yeah. What? I got a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Because I do think you had the wrong people also. Because it's just kind of too easy to become a cop.
So easy.
And they're obviously just hiring anybody to the job. Like anybody who wants to be a cop, and this is going to sound crazy, but probably shouldn't be a cop.
Yeah.
I think this will never happen, but I think the best way to probably help course correct things is to, almost like just draft people to become officers in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, or in your area. Like I live in Culver City, it's like, we have a Culver City Police Department. It's like, and maybe it could be for a certain age, and like you do it for, it's almost like, it's not a far-fetched concept, because don't they, like, there are some countries that have mandatory military service.
Most countries, yeah.
Here's
the thing, like, there should be levels to it. Like, if there's a domestic, if there's like a person having a freak out in a store, cops with guns shouldn't be the ones to show up. Social workers should be the ones to show up. If there's a bank robbery with guns, cops with guns should go to that.
Yeah.
But like, one, you can't expect cops to be trained to deal with the most extreme cases and then answer to a little case and not think like, this is going to be the most extreme thing ever. I better take my fucking gun out and shoot. And then you add racism on top of that too.
Yeah.
Like that's not a smart thing to do anyway. But like, we don't need all these cops. And the fact that they have power is a problem. It's a real fucking problem, because that's what's happening. It's just abuse of power. They shouldn't have power.
Yeah, and it's in every shooting, every time a cop discharges his weapon, what's the one thing that they always say?
I was in fear for my life.
I was in fear of my life. And that is, usually the get out of jail free card.
Yeah. Because
that's all they got to say.
That's it.
I was in fear of my life.
Yep.
I had to discharge my weapon.
And that's the, they have that law. They don't have accountability. They just assume like, well, if they had to do it, they had to do it. But can you name any other profession in the world where there's no accountability if you kill somebody or if you make a mistake? None. Like, if you're a doctor and you kill somebody, you have to go before a committee and answer for that shit. And you'll probably have your license revoked unless you can prove that, like, this was no other outcome. It was just a freak accident. I did everything I could. Like, you have to prove it. If you continue to have unbalanced ledgers at the end of the day as a fucking cashier, you'll get fired.
You'll get fired, yeah.
But like, cops can just keep killing people. Like this horrible fucking woman who, she didn't make a mistake. She didn't draw her gun thinking it was a taser. Look, in the video, you can watch her pass a piece of paper from her right hand, her dominant hand, to her left hand in order to draw her weapon from her dominant side, which is the pistol. Every cop, this is not 100%. This is how you're taught to do it. This is how they train to do it. You keep your pistol on your dominant side, your taser on your opposite side, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
She switched to free her dominant hand, drew her pistol. A couple other things. Cops are issued Glocks. There's no safety on a Glock. There's a safety on a taser. In order to fire a taser, you have to disengage the safety. The Glock's fucking handle goes all the way to the bottom of your palm. The taser is like in the middle of your palm. Here's the other big thing. when you take a fucking taser out, in order to shoot it, a giant flashlight comes out and a red and green dot. There's no way you mistake it. None. Zero way. Especially if you've been doing this for 26 years. And she's a field training officer.
Yes, that's all true. You want to know how you mistake that? And I'm just playing devil's advocate because, I saw that video too. Brother Dante, and rest in peace to him. And just my heart goes out to his family. The way that gets mistaken is when, it all goes back to what I was saying. Like, so if I take her by her word, and what they say,
sure,
that it was an accident, that she, she thought she was going for the taser and not the weapon. And I heard all about how they're supposed to have them. It's like the guns on the dominant side, taser, and they weigh different. It's like, there's just,
there's no way.
It's like, it's hard to reach and pick up one and not know the difference, unless you are so scared of a black face. That none of that fucking matters.
Right.
And you just go by instinct.
Right.
And you grab the first thing that comes to mind, which is, what, like you were saying, that the thing that's in your dominant, the right hand.
Yeah.
You grab that and you're so scared because a 20-year-old black man that you pulled over for expired fucking tags tried to get back into
during a pandemic when nobody's getting their fucking tags because the DMV is backed up.
Yeah. So again, that's what I meant when I talk about just that inherent fear, that bias of just, standing across from someone that doesn't look like you.
Yeah.
And you're just scared.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about, the guy was 20 years old, man.
He's just a child, man.
20 years old, and I don't know. It's just the whole thing is sad. Like every time this shit happens, it's fucking sad, and it just kind of it eats and it tears away at me.
Yeah.
And I was driving today, and I live in Culver City, and you've been in Culver City.
Mm-hmm.
Like Culver City got a fucking shit ton of cops everywhere, because there's some not special, but so Culver City it's in LA. But it's got its own, like it's in LA County, but it's its own municipality or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Like they can just do things different.
It's a very affluent area, so it can do whatever it wants, basically.
Well, I don't know how affluent it is.
It is.
I live there. It ain't that affluent.
Well,
but yeah, you're right. There are yes, there are there are a lot of affluent parts. But the Culver City PD is not the LA PD,
right?
And Culver, because they have their own police department, their own budget and everything. These motherfuckers are always out, always. Like where I live and where my gym is like a 3-minute drive.
Yeah,
nah, longer than that. I'll say 6-minute drive. Routinely, from the moment I leave my house to when I get to the Fox Hills Mall, where my Gold's Gym is at, I will have passed by 4 cops.
Jesus.
Like they're fucking everywhere. I have a Vons that I live close to, and I walk there for groceries. And which takes me like, I don't know, like, again, 3 minutes to walk from my door to the Vons. I'll see either cops in the parking lot doing whatever, because it's like other stores and stuff, or just walking on Centinela and then Washington. You'll just see patrol cars constantly. So like when I'm driving, I'm constantly aware of them.
Yeah.
And I remember I went. This was last year. It wasn't last year. That's when the pandemic. It was 2019. I went and met up with a buddy of mine in Culver City in downtown. It was his birthday. Had a couple drinks, had some food, and I knew that my front headlight was out, so only had one good working. But we met up early enough, and I planned it out. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get out of here before the sun goes down because I don't want to give anybody a reason to stop me. Uh, things ran late. I tried to get out of there as soon as I could. It was like dusk almost. I mean, it wasn't fully dark, but the sun was definitely setting. And again, like I was only like 10, not even less than 10 minutes from the house, and I passed my cross street. I'm like looking at my apartment. So I'm driving, and on the opposite side, I see a cop, and I just knew, fuck, he's gonna stop me.
Yeah.
Sure as shit, he did. He put on the lights, busted a bitch. I pull over, and like I said, I'm right in front of my apartment. I was so fucking scared. Which you know, I've been stopped by the police before. It's like the same response. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Hands on the wheel, just like boom, like looking straight ahead. The guy, you know, comes, roll down the window, and you know, he's asking me where I'm coming from. Oh, you know, having dinner with a friend of mine. Mentions the front light. I was like, yes, officer, I know. I was aware. I'm planning to get that taken care of. I'm gonna do that. He's like, yeah, well, you know, take care of it tomorrow. I'm like, yep, absolutely. It was a fine interaction. It was like he was a Latino brother. But when he left and got in his car, I mean, it's still just the panic.
Yeah.
That, you know, you feel.
Yeah.
Like my heart was just racing, you know, beating out of my fucking chest. I was so fucking scared. And especially because I was so close to home.
Right.
And that was a good encounter with the cop.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, that's what goes through, at least for me, you know, and because you just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know, because the only times I've had guns drawn on me were from police officers.
Yeah.
For not doing anything wrong, you know, attending a party that was that we were the victims of, because some fucking thugs came in and started, you know, stealing shit. So we called. I didn't call the cops, but the girl who hosted the party called the cops. You know, told them what was going on, and then they burst in. The guys who had done the fucking deed were gone, and then I've got a shotgun at my back. And then another time where I was just hanging out with another one of my friends from high school, Sean, another white guy actually. And we both got guns drawn on us because we had come back from watching a movie in Marina Del Rey, went back to his house in Westchester, and we were in his car just talking. Because I had parked my car at his place, and we were just, you know, ending the night. We were just like chopping it up a little bit before, you know, I went back to you know, go home, and he was going to go inside to his place. And all of a sudden, 2 cop cars come swooping through with the lights on, and they come out. They got, get out of the car. They got guns drawn. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Yes. I'm with you. I thought I was golden.
Yeah.
But then come to find out that I guess, you know, Sean's neighbor thought that there was like a drug deal going on or something. So they called the police, and it was just like, fuck. And even he was tripping out. He was like, dude, like I live here. This is my house.
Yeah.
This is my house. This is my friend. It's like, we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know. Well, this podcast, I'm sorry, everybody. This podcast really.
No, man, this is stuff worth talking about.
It got off the rails.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier doesn't matter. It's fun, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But this stuff does.
So yeah, it was a good episode. It's a good show. Check it out. Check it out if you have the time.
Yeah, ultimately it's good. We'll do another episode next week after the finale.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I do like the word penultimate, and episode 5, the penultimate episode of the series. I love that word.
It's a good word. It is a good word. Yeah.
I'm not able to use it enough.
And there's only one way you can use it, right?
I know, yeah.
That's the only time, yeah. Yeah.
I was writing something for work, though, a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to use penultimate. And I was like, oh, nice.
Nice.
Got that shit in there. Got my shit in.
Did it have to be translated? Is there a Japanese equivalent to that?
Well, it'll be for the game, which is going to be in English.
Okay.
So whatever I wrote it'll be in there. But I'm sure, they translated. I'm not sure what that word would be. It's definitely not penultimate.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but yeah. But I don't care. It'll be the way that I intended it to be.
Yeah. Man. Man. Well,
This is a long one, huh?
Yeah, man. What are we at? What? Almost 3.5 hours.
Holy shit! It's like watching Lord of the Rings.
Killing the game.
Or this is, hey, but we're still, shorter than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Fucking A. But that's the thing. That's the cool thing I like about this podcast. I like podcasts where it's just people talking, because then I feel like I'm just talking with them.
Well, that was the whole point of this whole thing when we started, right?
That was it. Just talk.
Us chopping it up and just talking.
Like, we like to talk about movies and music and shit, but, we live in the world too. We got things to say, perspectives.
Yeah. Perspectives.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of scary stuff. Big changes need to happen. Reforms aren't the answer. Use your vote, use your dollars, use your voice, protest, march, do all the things.
Yeah, that's it. Honestly, like vote.
Just do all the things, man. Do all the things.
And don't vote against your own,
self-interest.
Your own interests.
Yeah. As I don't feel.
Just don't vote for dicks. Don't vote for assholes. Don't vote for dicks.
We're all victims of the system, right? Like, you look at Donald Trump, who, again, everybody's responsible for their actions. That's a different topic. Everybody is responsible for what they do. But, like, he's a victim of the system, too. At a certain point, he was a beautiful little baby boy, completely innocent. All he needed and wanted was love, and he didn't get it. So in order to survive in the environment he was in, he fucking contorted him and twisted himself into this fucking monster. And then with infinite resources and some kind of magic power over people, he was able to work his way through school and get people to do what he wanted, and with having no discernible talent, and then get a job and run a company with no fucking talent. But he just has a way about him where he can convince people that he's right and he's such an alpha that they should follow him, and they do. And with a revolving door of people just looking for that assurance and that money, and he was just never told no, so much that it put him in the position to be the fucking most powerful man in the world, outside of the actual people running the world, but the most powerful man in the regular person world. Yeah. And he used that power to make things far worse. And how different would things be if his fucking parents loved him at all? Just showed him the slightest amount of attention and care and told him that they loved him, gave him a fucking hug. How different of a position would we be in right now? If he would have used that power that he was born with to influence people to do something
for good,
to do something to do something well, to help people.
Honestly, to hear you like, lay all that out about him, it's almost like that's an origin story for like a supervillain.
It is,
and that's what he turned out to be.
I think about this,
but I give a lot of blame. Cause look, I mean, he got elected because he was on fucking television.
Exactly.
He was. So what? The Apprentice. What was that on? Was that NBC?
Yeah.
They get a lot of the blame. For this
of course.
Thing.
Blame is blame is useless. Like, they're responsible. Like, we're a part of a system. A big part of that system is white supremacy, but white supremacy is a tool for financial supremacy, for the people, for the 150 people who run the world to stay in that level that you and I will never even sniff. They use these tools.
I'm gonna sniff it. I'm gonna sniff it.
They use these tools like fucking white supremacy, just all sorts of racism, sexism. They use these as a way to keep all of us fucked up, hurting, fighting, so that we can just keep perpetuating the world that propping up the world that they live in.
Yeah.
And like we're all victims of this system, the good and the bad. Like these fucking moron Nazis, they're responsible for their actions. Don't get me wrong. They're fucking responsible for their actions, but they're also victims of a system. A child isn't born racist. They're taught that shit.
No, that's true.
They don't stand
that's
a
true.
fucking chance. These kids that are like 15 and like, yeah, fuck N-word this and Jew that and fucking Asian this.
That's learned behavior.
It's not
That's
their
learned
fault.
behavior.
They were taught that. Like they're a victim of that shit too. And until we address that, there's going to be no change. There's just not going to be no change until we all able to like really reconcile that fact that we're all just fucked and caught in this horrible system. Nothing can change. It just can't, because we're just going to keep fighting.
And the country is just going to keep treading water.
Yeah. Until we
That's
can
it.
say like, look, we're all in this together and we need to find a way out together. And we got to, some people in some situations are going to have to swallow it and just move on, and some aren't, and whatever. We're, it's a bad situation.
I really am an optimist, but it's like you look at the state of the world. Like this country couldn't even get together in the midst of a goddamn global pandemic.
Since I was in high school, I would say like the only thing that would bring us together would be like an alien invasion, because then we would all have to band together to work as one. And then last year proved like, nope. Because you know what? A couple things. One, we'd all needed to band together, and then there were people like, "No, fuck you! How dare you ask me to help you? Go fuck yourself!" And on top of that, our own government was like, "Oh yeah, and also aliens exist. They're all over the place."
I know, right?
And nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody gave a shit.
They dropped that footage, and it was like,
yeah, guys,
so
UFOs
this also
are real.
happened.
You know that thing we've been lying to you about for like 60 years? Yeah, it's real too.
They dropped all these UFO these videos, and like nobody gave a shit.
It wasn't a surprise to me because I
too busy protesting, too busy dealing with the pandemic,
too busy protesting a protest.
yeah.
It wasn't a surprise to me because I've seen UFOs, like I've seen them, but it was a surprise that the government was like, "Yep."
They just released it.
And
it
then
was just
an
like,
even bigger surprise that people were like, "Yeah, whatever." What are the Kardashians doing though?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like this, we're fucked up. We're fucked, everybody.
We're lost, man. We're lost.
We're fucked and we're lost. So that's why, like I was saying, like just this was like the most nihilistic podcast ever. But no, just appreciate the your loved ones, appreciate the people in your life that you care about, that care about you, and just try to navigate through this shit the best way you can. And you do that by surrounding yourself with good people. And I guess that's where I'll leave it at, where it's like, cause that's how I live my life. I surround myself with good people with, with good hearts. And people that are not negative, even though I've been sounding pretty negative on this, but I don't know. It's like, I don't feel that I'm a negative person. It's just, when it comes to certain situations, I'm just kind of a realist, but yeah. So yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. One more episode to go.
And there you have it, guys. Thank you for listening. Rate and review on iTunes. Follow and like on Spotify. I just put the last episode up on YouTube. You can listen to the audio on YouTube now. I'm going to start putting them up.
For real?
Yeah. So if you're on YouTube, you can stream us there too.
But not the video though.
Not the video. No video.
All right, good. I don't want nobody seeing my face.
Yeah. Not the video. And that's it. Share. Tell people about it. Join us next week when we'll talk about the finale of Winter Soldier.
And you can buy some merch.
Oh yeah. grahambreaker.com/merch.
He's got good merch, y'all.
Thank you, brother. I got more stuff coming soon. I'm working on some new designs. On this topic, I had a great Black Lives Matter shirt too. Go support. I donate half of all the proceeds to that to various vetted Black Lives Matter charities whenever I have enough to do so. So,
can I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
For your merch?
Yeah.
So a hoodie like that. The
pew pew pew
pugilist shirt.
Yeah.
Great,
Oh, in a
great
hoodie.
t-shirt. Yeah, a hoodie. Like
Okay.
that's a great logo.
Okay.
I like to, buy that.
I got you.
Get a hoodie with that.
It's a great idea.
So I don't know. I'm just throwing an idea out.
I like it. I haven't put any hoodies up, so you're right. I should do that.
Well, I got one of your hoodies. The what was it? Everybody hates Graham Baker.
I hate Graham Baker.
I hate Graham Baker. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I got merch there. You can, if you go grahambaker.com/bombcast, you'll find us there too, because that's where I post everything, and then it gets distributed to various channels. Yeah, if you want to listen, check out my music, Gray House, on all the streaming platforms, and there you go.
Nice. And yeah, I got nothing. You could, I'm just. Yeah, I got nothing to
follow us on Twitter at Bombcast Podcast.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter. All right,
That's
guys.
it. All right. Peace.
Peace.
The Bombcast.